Shiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat shalom, Israel. Shabbat shalom.
Khan, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Yashallah.
All right, you know what it is. Got your brother Ben Yehuda and brother Eitan Zacchaeus.
That's right.
Got going to bring you something extremely special tonight. So before we even get started, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box if you can hear us loud and clear. All right, you're already on it.
All praise.
All right, the lesson, as you see, is going to be called Rudy, Rochman, the Imposter, the Ignorance, Lies, and Deceit. So apparently, Brother Eitan is going to cue a video for you, and we're going to go through and we're going to do some breakdowns. So apparently, there's this wicked Khazar, or this wicked European who is claiming to be Jewish or whatever he calls himself. But we're going to show you biblically and historically that these people have absolutely no ties to the ancient Israelites of the Bible. All right, and I know most of you all already know, are pretty well versed and studied. But before we go on, I'm going to show you a couple of books that I'm going to recommend you to read that's going to help you understand who these people really are. All right, because ever since Kyrie pointed this link to the Hebrews to Negroes documentary on Amazon, it's like these people have been coming out the woodworks. And I say these people, I'm talking about these wicked Khazars, these imposters, these people who are claiming to be us, which is nothing is farther from the truth. So this book, Arthur Koestler, now he's dead, by the way. He mysteriously died. And at the same time, I'm just gonna give you a synopsis of this book, but you need to read this, you all. Get this book, it's very important, because this is going to explain how these people were converts 500 years, like around 500 AD, these people became converts, all right? These people have absolutely no ties, no bloodline ties to the ancient Israelites of the Bible. Back then, neither do they today. All right, and again, we're going to prove that. And we're going to prove that with maps. We're going to prove that historically as well. And this book tells how they got from the Ottoman Empire to what is called Jerusalem today. All right, this book will blow your mind, you all. So get this book, read this. All right, there's another book. It's called The Invention of the Jewish People. This is another good one. This talks about how these people became converts and where they from, and it proves that, just like the 13th tribe, that these people have absolutely no ties to the ancient, no bloodline ties to the ancient Israelites of the Bible. So, you know, at the end of the day, Israel, it just boils down to just doing your own research and really bringing out the receipts. And I say receipts, the facts, you know, fact checks, because these people cannot prove themselves to be the bloodline. Now, even Ron Dalton had sat down and challenged them, hey, to a debate. Let's debate with the ADLs. Let's debate with these people who are claiming to be us. And let's see, but they won't do it. They will not do it because they know that they have no foundation to stand on. The only foundation that they have to stand on is the lies through their forefathers. That's it, and it's all lies. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to take you to let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, and I'll make this a little bigger for you all so you can see.
All right.
Give me a second here. You know what? Let's go. Let's leave it like that right here. All right. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, and let's look at verse 27, because I'm going to show you, you know, that our people were scattered to the four corners. No other race of people fits this category. All right. So Deuteronomy 4:27, it says, "And Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations," meaning that to all the continents, the 7 continents that are known on this earth, "and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen." So no matter where we are, we're gonna always seem like we're few in number amongst everybody else. "Whether Yahweh shall lead you, and there ye shall serve Elohim or gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell." Now, you all know, like, what is the main thing that our people are so caught up in? Mostly Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and all different types of religions that's scattered to the four corners. And this is where our people would end up at. Now, these people who are claiming to be those people or that are in Jerusalem that's claiming to be the Jewish people, again, they have no bloodline ties because, for one, the scripture says that the Most High will gather his people in the four corners. It's evidence. We're going to show you. We're going to show you this throughout this lesson and everything, that the Most High is going to gather his people through force, through fierceness, through anger. You see what I'm saying? With the stretched out hand. It ain't going to be okay. You're going to have groups of black people. You're going to have groups of black people over here, over this way. Just going to all of a sudden just be making their way back to, to Holy Land. It's not going to happen like that, because the Bible says that the Jerusalem shall be trodden, should be trodden underfoot by the Gentiles until the end, or until the time of the Gentiles, meaning until he gets ready to wipe them people out of there and kick them out of our homeland, not their homeland. All right. So I'm gonna, brother, before I go on, did you have anything that you want to add to that?
No, really, nah, brother, not really.
Okay.
Just concerning the video, that we're just gonna go over. It's just, it was just amazing how this stuff is starting just to pop up in the feed now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like popping up in our feed, and we're just not even concentrated on it just because it's stuff with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. I just found that amazing.
Yeah.
Too.
And so, and we want to do this so that you all can defend yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to be able to show this kind of stuff historically as well as biblically, because now that the cat is out the bag, and now a lot of our people are waking up and they're starting to discover their true identity, because of course our identity has been hidden for so long. You're going to have the devil that's going to come out the woodworks, and they're going to try their hardest to hold on to their kingdom, but they have no grip, they have no foundation. All right, let's go to Isaiah 11:11, because this is going to tell you. Now we know that the kingdom is split. So for thousands of years, the kingdom has been split. So you have the southern and the northern kingdom, and guess what? They are still split unto this very day, and they are still scattered unto this very day. So how can these people be Israel in Jerusalem when the true descendants of Israel are still scattered to the four corners of the earth and have not been gathered up yet? You see what I'm saying? So when people come out and try to say that, oh yeah, the Jews are already over there. No, there's so many red flags with that. All right, so let's look at Isaiah 11:11, and it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant of his people." Now I want you to get this now. So if that means that if these so-called people that are over there right now calling themselves Jewish people, then there's a problem right here, because it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant." The second time, that means that it's not talking about the first one. It's talking about when he comes back. When he comes back to bring hell on earth and to destroy these wicked nations. Again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left. Which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. All right. Now, these are the northern tribes that are scattered throughout these regions and still scattered throughout the day. So in technicality, we have more Israelites, Negroes, that are scattered in these areas than we do, way more than in the U.S. All right. Let's look at that stuff.
Hey, you know what? Hold it for a second, right? Let me, dealing with that scripture right there where it says, and it shall come to pass that the Lord shall set his head. Hey, this is in the Old Testament, right? Number one, right? So I don't, so they will recognize this, and then it doesn't say. It says the Lord shall come and gather them. Exactly. Right? It doesn't say anything where you're going to get you a Balfour Declaration, and you're going to have other nations of people granting you a land that's already supposed to be the Most High. You see what I'm saying? This is supposed to be an action of the Lord, himself making a move, right? Just like he did in Egypt. This is not something that, it's just coming from, these heathens of the land, some kind of invisible force that's going to give these heathens. Nah, that's not how it's going down.
That's right. That's right. And then let's look at verse 12. It says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations. Each tribe makes a nation, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So Judah is the head tribe. So Judah, you had Judah and Levi that are scattered mostly to the four corners of the earth. They're everywhere in Africa as well too. So remember, you have the northern tribe, which is known as Israel, or which is called, and then Judah. And the northern tribe, Ephraim was the head chief of the northern tribe, and of course Judah is the head tribe of the southern tribe. Now, verse 13, it says, the envy of Ephraim shall not depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall not be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim, because it was Judah that caused that northern kingdom to worship idols and all that kind of stuff. And then Judah ended up going off. So, there's a history behind this, y'all. So this has not happened yet. The gathering has not happened yet. All right. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing here before I turn it back over to Brother Aton. Now, y'all know the term they use, right? They use the term Jewish. Now, notice that they don't refer to themselves as Israelites. They don't refer to themselves as Jews. They just refer to themselves as Jewish. Now, I want you to realize what this really means. It says relating to, associated with, or denoting Jewish people or Judaism, the Jewish people. So they've always been known to call themselves Jewish because they know, or the head leaders know, that they were converts way back in the day. They had no bloodline ties to the ancient Israel, the ancient Israelites of the Bible. Notice they call themselves, why do you think they call themselves Israelis? All right, not Israelites, Israelis. When they crowd anti-Semitism, they crowd anti-Semitism, not Shemitism. We are from the line of Shem. We cannot be anti-Semitic, because that would be like saying we're anti-black. We anti against ourselves. So, get the whole picture, make sure you study and understand, the whole concept. Get the dictionary, look up anti-Semitism, and then break those words down, and then look up the other words. You're going to see that it's relating to the blacks, so the people of what the people would say of color, dark skin to medium light, those people who are scattered to the four corners of the earth. I mean, it's just straight up facts. All right, brother.
Okay. All right. Well, Israel, we're just gonna go over this video real quick. We'll go ahead and play it for you. We're just gonna go through it, and we're gonna stop it periodically, and we're just gonna point out some stuff, because, like Brother Daniel was saying earlier, we want to be well armed when it comes to this kind of thing. Okay. We just want to show you for fact versus fiction, because these heathen, man, they are struggling to try to maintain that they are the people of the Bible, and it's a damn lie, right? And they're starting to get exposed. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. Oops, let's log in. Wrong tab. All right, Con. All right. Hey, just yell when you want me to stop it if you see something.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Con. Can you see it? You good on that?
Hey, can everybody in the chat see the screen right now? Go ahead, just do a test run, man. Let it play, and then rewind it back.
About African Jews. What? What do you mean the Schwarzes are Jews? The Schwarzes? No way. That's a derogatory name for black.
Hey, can y'all hear that? Put a one in the chat if everyone can hear that.
All right, let's roll.
All right, Con, all praise to the Most High. All right, let's rock and roll.
Person.
Bro, I'm an Igbo chief. You don't understand that.
What the hell's going on?
My Igbo name is Igbo Nyaha Warrior of Light.
Look at this man right
You
here.
heard?
We had to get the fuck out. I was like, we have to go. We have to go now. Yes, they had it cool. They're going to close the app. It's a wrap. It's an Igbo, man. I don't play. But I don't.
We will unite. The question is not if, it's when.
What? Like
See
that? I'm talking about trying to get my people together. Rudy.
Trust.
this is like our continuation because Coach Dills, I know you guys know him from last week, right? We had a
And the week on the other weeks.
pretty.
All right, now for those that don't know, this guy right here, he's claiming to be a Jew. These folks over here, right? They're claiming to be the people, the descendants, the blood descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right?
All the other times, yo, you've been coming a lot, dude. I saw him last night. The dude won't leave me alone. And you said, "Hey, Godfrey, check it out. We've been talking about this whole black and Jewish thing going on, which I'm kind of happy that it's being talked about. We just say something so no one can talk.
Just calling it anti-Semitic is a problem if you don't explain why it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but they don't. They'll just say anti-Semitic, and you can't talk
So
to them.
saying that something is anti-Semitic is not a problem if you explain why.
But
it's
they don't,
anti-Semitic,
and that's the problem. It's like, if I say you're being anti-black, I'll go, oh, I'll explain it to you real
Stop
quick.
right there for a
I'll
minute.
say this,
Specify.
explain, just say it.
Okay, so you know how they always cry out anti-Semitic or something every time something happens, like for example Kanye, or when Kyrie Irving posted a link to the Hebrews and Negroes, they called it anti-Semitic material. There's nothing when you watch the documentary. There's nothing anti-Semitic about it because we are Shemitic. We are Shemitic people. Now in that book, the 13 Tribe by Arthur Koestler, it's proven that these people are not even Shemitic at all, not even close. So how can they even cry out anti-Semitism? You know what I'm saying? The stuff doesn't make any sense. And anytime something is, anytime that their question or their authority is in question or something like that, then they want to cry anti-Semitism. All right, go ahead, bro.
What's anti-Semitic? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it better make sense. That's anti-Semitic. Okay, you got it. My bad. But you're just saying it is. And a lot of times it's not. If I don't agree with you, I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm just disagreeing with you on certain things. But there can be people who are that, of course. And this man that's talking here, ladies and gentlemen, I always like to have people on here and they'll just start talking, be like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Then I introduce them after they talk. And I'll let you introduce because you brought this man.
I brought Rudy. I brought Rudy here.
Yeah. You want to introduce him since you're good at that? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, first, if people don't remember me, I'm one
Coach
of the,
Dills, who I've worked with on Wild 'N Out, battle rapper.
we work with each other. I make songs. I just started battling on it. I'm a song maker. I'm a Billboard charted artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you are. I'll give you that.
Godfrey
Wait till December.
shared about his trip to Israel with me.
Yes.
And Godfrey was so surprised that I knew about the Igbo tribe, his family. He was blown away that I was not the average light-skinned Jew that was revolving in his normal life. Everyone, I just need to acknowledge that. And
I mean, what's the difference between him and Brett, Brad, and all the rest of them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man.
These are Europeans, y'all. Don't get it twisted. These
Right.
people that are talking right now, these are full-blooded Europeans.
God, and we're gonna show the proof as we keep going.
Godfrey, do you concur?
I concur, sir. I mean, yeah, it was like the Igbos, which I am, my tribe are some of the oldest Jews on the planet. And he came up to me and said, I know about the Igbos being the Jew. I was like, oh, word. Oh, man, we about to do Shabbat with your boy. And I like that. I like that he said that because I remember getting into a discussion with somebody. But before I do that,
Yeah, and a perfect
introduce your man.
segue into Rudy.
Introduce
So
your man.
Rudy is what I guess we would call a Jewish rights activist. Rudy is making
Now, I want you to understand something here, right? When this guy says that the Igbo tribes are some of the oldest Jewish or practicing tribes, right? Hey, he's not. These heathen are not even realizing that it's saying that this is way older than when these people had founded themselves. Around the 1500s, the Ashkenazi and the Sephardic immigrants had started establishing Jewish colonies, right? You know what I'm saying, and calling themselves Jews. This is way before then, right? That the Igbo tribe has existed, right? So where the hell these people come from? You understand what I'm saying? So let's continue.
a film called We Were Never Lost, which is about the Jews of Africa. And
Yeah.
Tanzania, Madagascar,
I love
Nigeria,
this guy already.
Ethiopia. Give me another country.
Uganda,
Uganda.
Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Madagascar,
They love
Ethiopia,
that.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire. Guy, this is already dope.
The people of the Biafra
Biafra.
community.
The
Okay.
fact that you brought up Biafra.
Bro, I'm an Igbo chief. You don't understand that.
What the?
Okay. Right. You got something to say before?
No, go ahead, bring it out. Bring it
Okay. Right. You notice how they're trying to say these other people are Jews as well, right? Hey, right. The Igbo tribe, Jews, and all this other stuff, but they're also trying to claim that themselves are Jews, right? Later on, if you see this, they'll try to say that Jews is a race. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But them white boys and the brother right here, they do not look the damn same, right? They do not look the same at all, right? And so I just want to stop, and I was going to get a couple of scriptures real quick, and I just want to prove that, you know, the Most High, right? He made man in his image.
Bring it out.
Right? Just a few scriptures, right? Let me see. Let me present this. All right, come on. All right. So, right, in Genesis, right, the first chapter, I'm going to read 26 and 27. And it says, and God said, let us make man in our image, right, after our own likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, right, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he him. He them, right? Okay. So what does that mean? That God, he did create man in his own image, right? He did create man in his own image, right? So first, right, let's just see what God looks like himself. Let's go to Daniel chapter 10, verse 6, right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 10, verse 6. Okay. All right. So, right. It says, his body was also like the beryl, his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Right. So if your arms and your feet are that of colors of polished brass, right? Hey, you can pull up a picture of polished brass real quick.
Sure can.
All right. Let's get another one that says the same thing, right? Let's get another one that says the same thing, all right? Oh, you know what? Before I go there, all right, you know, since I'm already in Daniel, let's go to Daniel 7 and 9. So he has his arms and his feet, right, and his arms and his legs, right? They have a polished brass color, a polished brass in color, right? Not only that, right? It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, right? This is the Most High Yahweh, right? God, right? And God had made man in his own image. This is him right here, the Ancient of Days, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, right? If you notice that heathen, right, his hair looked like the pure German Shepherd, right? It did not look like the pure wool like we have, right? It looked like, you know, the pure poodle. It does not look anything like what we have, right? It says like the pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame and as burning as the wheels, right? Right? As you see, that's the color of bronze or brass, right? That's a brown hue. It does not look like anything of pasty pale pink or anything of that nature. Or even if they get a tan, it doesn't even remotely look like that, right? Even if they get a tan, it doesn't even remotely look like that. Right, so let's go to two more scriptures, right? Let's go to two more scriptures just to show that, you know, the Most High, right? We know that he made man out of his own, out of his own image. And we showed that that the Most High himself, right? He has hair of wool and he has bronze, brass skin color, right? So, and then we go here, right? And it says, right, this is talking about the Son of God, right? Because we know the Son of God, if you've seen the Son, you've seen the Father. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as like the sound of many waters, right? So we see here that his feet is like unto fine brass, right? Now let's get one more scripture, right? Let's get one more scripture. Oh my goodness, I'm getting annoyed. All right, let's get one more scripture. Here we go. All right. It says, here we go. It says, and unto the angel of the church in Thyatira write, these things saith the Son of God, who hath eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. Right? So we know that the Most High and his Son have woolly hair, right? And on top of that, they have brown skin, right? So who else on the planet do we know that have different shades of brown skin? right? Israelites. That's our people, the so-called Negroes.
That's right.
So-called those folks that we're going to continue to watch on the video, none of them have brown skin. Now let's see, for example, is there such thing as Israelites that don't have brown skin, right? Let's see the type of people that the Most High is going to save, right? Let's go, let's go in the scriptures, right? And let's see the type of, let's go to Romans 8:29 real quick, right? Let's go to, because we see already how Hamashiach looks, right? He's brown and he has woolly hair, brown with woolly hair, right? So don't forget that, right? So we're going to go to Romans 8:29, right? Let me see. Where's that at? Romans 8:29. All right. It says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate, right? So who is that? That's Israel, right? To be conformed, right? Which means made, right? To the image of his son. Now, what is the image of his son? And what is the image of the Most High, right? They're all dark skinned with woolly hair, right? So that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Now, if you have brethren, what are they going to do? They're going to look just like you. If you have brethren, they're going to look just like you. So that means that all of Israel, right? All of Israel, we got, woolly hair, brown skin, right? Woolly hair, brown skin, looks like Hamashiach. That's why he's the king of the Jews. The king of the Jews is not going to look like a whole bunch of different racial colors of all kinds of different people, right? That's just absolute madness. All right, let's go back to the video. Salakia.
Yeah. And before you start the video, now, and we're going to show you too, we're going to show you a lot of maps and we're going to show you some more evidence, because what these people love to say, they love to say, well, the blacks mixed with the other nations. And we're going to show you in Ezra where the Most High had a way of cleansing his people. He had a way of preserving his seed.
God.
Just like Japanese people look like Japanese people for thousands of years, and Asian people look like Asian people for thousands of years, and so on. Negroes look like Negroes for thousands of years. That has not changed. So you can't. So a person can't come and try to prove that we mixed in with all the nations. Then that would be impossible, because then we would be wiped out. We wouldn't. Then the Israelites wouldn't even exist. Make it make sense, Israel.
God.
Go ahead.
What the hell's going on?
My Igbo name is Igbo Nyaha Warrior of Light.
Look at this man right here.
You heard I brought him
this
through.
dude is
You
so-
heard?
And
You heard?
Oh,
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing.
He's nuts, right? And I am my Igbo name is Undubisi. Undubisi is like health is the most important thing, which is so funny. I was named that, but health, I'm always in the job. I've always been into health. That's so you're an Igbo chief. Even before me, yo. I'm from Abia State. My people are Abia State. Aron Diziogo. So which used to be part of Imo State. And Abia State, that's where I'm from. Umuna are my people, man. It's all villages, and it breaks down.
Afrobeat comment section is just going off.
It's
right now.
amazing. This is dope, because you don't expect a guy that looks like you to be this. Like I'm trying to talk about African Jew.
You see what I'm saying? He told some a guy that looks like him, because it's not normal. Good and well. We're going to show you too why it's not normal. Is because those heathen, when they supposedly made their trek in their pilgrimage, they skipped all the dark lands and went all where the lands of pasty people live, right?
What?
Perhaps this guy is bridging, commutes to conversation, and he's documenting it. And people from all different worlds are contacting him, from priests to Palestinians to people from all over the world, Indian Jews, Chinese Jews, like stuff that you're like, you don't expect in New York City. And when he went, he has a team. One guy's from France, one guy's from the US.
Just introduced him.
And my bad. And they got locked in Nigeria. Okay.
Well,
and he was with the Boko Haram, and he was in prison. And now
Jesus Christ, let him say it.
Let him. Now you go.
What's his whole name?
Rudy Rochman.
Rudy Rochman. Hey,
there you go,
brother.
Thank you.
Welcome, man. So you were born in Israel?
I was born in France, actually.
But enchanté. Bienvenue or something. Welcome, right? Bienvenue. Okay.
But I'm not French.
Damn.
All of my grandparents were born in different countries.
Okay.
Due to being persecuted as people of Israel.
Of course.
All of my grandparents were kicked out of the countries they were born in, and that's how my parents were first generation born in France.
Wow.
They might have been persecuted, right? But they were. I mean, come on, man. We know good well these folks are just.
Here's the thing, Okay, so we all know what Deuteronomy 28 says, and they'll try to say, they didn't apply to black people. You read Leviticus 26, and it says the same thing. Okay, now that these people did not go through slavery. They did not come on here on ships. They did not go through. Their people did not go to the Babylonian captivities that our people went through. You see what I'm saying? They do not fit the curses of the Bible. These people are not at the bottom. As a matter of fact, they're totally the opposite. They're the ones who control the media, the Hollywood, movies, all that stuff, the banks, the finances, you name it. So, the scripture says that our people would still be at the bottom and that we would still be a scattered, oppressed people. These people are not oppressed.
Come on.
Go ahead, bro.
Me being second generation. Then I moved all around the world: Israel, Miami, LA, Palo Alto, New York, Asia, South America.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And growing up, I realized that it doesn't matter where I was born, grew up, lived in, traveled to, reside in. What I really am is a Jew. And so I asked myself deeper questions. What does it even mean to be a Jew? Because we're told today that Judaism is a religion, but in every single religion, if you don't believe in the God, deity, book, or prophet of that religion, you're not a part of it. A Christian that doesn't believe in Jesus is not a Christian. A Muslim that doesn't believe in Muhammad is not a Muslim.
Right.
But a Jew that doesn't believe in the Torah and Hashem, although a fundamental part of our culture, is still a Jew. So I realized that Judaism is not a religion. It's an ancient civilization, like the Mayans, like the Aztecs, like the Maoris, like the Yazidis. And so
What are you saying that all those folks, those are whole races, though. The Mayans, the Aztecs, and whatnot, right? Let's continue. He's talking about, now he's trying to also somewhat trying to include the doggone the dogma of Christianity onto the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Which they were all written, right? All the books in the scriptures were written by Hebrews for Hebrews, right? All the Israelites is of one nation of people. But you don't have no Chinese Jews. If it is a Chinese Jew, he looks like a so-called Negro. If there is a whatever Jew that's already out there, he looks like one of us, right?
And look at this guy. If you notice, and as you go through the video, they don't use 1 ounce of evidence.
And no scriptures.
They just talking. They don't use no evidence. They're just talking, and they're taking advantage of Brother Godfrey because it's like they know that he can't really say nothing. They know that they got him pinned in the corner, and they're using his ignorance against him. But look at them. They're not providing one bit of evidence, and you're going to see that throughout the whole video that they're not going to provide one bit of evidence of where they came from. We provided you evidence. I showed you 2 books that you can go that will blow their whole ideology out the water.
Con, I'm gonna show you something too tonight. I'm gonna just show you some raw data that anybody can look up, and you can prove this stuff to be absolutely false.
So that's our civilization. We're called Israelites, we're called Hebrews, we're called Jews. These are all different names during different periods of time.
Right.
And there was a split amongst our civilization. The kingdom of Israel, which your tribe, Gad, was displaced to, and the kingdom of Judea, where Judah, Benjamin, and Levites, my family, which were spread out all across. And eventually we split and we went to the 4 corners of the earth. And
Okay, so he's trying to say that his family, right, or Benjamin, Judah, and Levi were the Jews, right? Now, that's a damn lie, right there, because we know that
don't let these guys fool you. These boys are Europeans from the Caucasus Mountains.
Con, right? Hey, right. Let's you know what? All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? We just read, right, that Hamashiach was the king of the Jews, right? And we know that he came from the line of David, right? And so we saw that that God made man in his own image, right? And we know that Hamashiach is also the spitting image of God. And we know that he's what? He's brown, right? He's brown with woolly hair. It does not look like this guy at all, right? So that's number one. That's phonetically impossible, right? Genetically impossible for him to be from any of those 3 tribes of Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, right? Furthermore, right, as a matter of fact, man, let's just let's just pull up a few maps, right? Before we pull up a few maps, right? During the Byzantine Empire, right? During the 10th century, and which is about the 10th century was about 901 AD to 1000 AD, right? And well into the Byzantine Empire, which is a little bit after, it was like the 1400s or something like that, right? We have the Russian icons, right? Way before these folks came along, right? We have the Russian icons that they were painting our people, the real Israelites, brown skin, right? They were painting the real Israelites brown skin, right? So there was this guy, right? There was this professor, Salakia, right? There was this professor from the Duke University, and his name is Alan Howard Godby, right? And he wrote this book called The Lost Tribes, a Myth, Suggestions Toward Rewriting Hebrew History, I believe, right? And so this guy right here, once he started researching it, right, he was like, well, hold up for a second, right? What in the world is going on? Because following the exile of Israel from 70 AD, right? He wanted to know where the Jews had landed up. You know, so he wanted to know where the Israelites had landed, right? So the whole map that he made is this map right here that you can see, right? So I wanted to show you guys something, right? And I know that you guys that probably studied before. I want you to understand something, right? That this right here is the continent of Africa, right? So right here, right, and it says right here at the very bottom, it says other names in red are places of ancient Jewish colonies. In some cases, an approximate date of settlement is added, right? So let's go to you know, this same map right here. We're going to go to this area where it says Nuba, right, which is the Congo area, right here. You know, Slovakia, right, which is the Congo area that is dealing with right here, right. Now above this area, if you look at the top left of the screen, all right, this is the Sahara Desert, right. Let's go back to the normal screen. Now we see the Sahara Desert. Now in this particular area, right, pre-exile, right, these are the Israelites that are you know, 70 AD pre-exile Israelites. Direct Israelites coming straight out of Israel, right? These are them, right? The pre-exile, you know what I'm saying? The pre-exile Israelites. And what they're practicing here is a thing called Yahwism. Hey, you mind looking that up real quick online? Now, Yahwism, right, is the practice of the laws, statutes, and commandments. That is our scriptures, right? That's what they're practicing. Now, I want you to notice the area that they're in, right? The area that they're in, let's get another map, right? Is Negro land, right? Let's look at Negro land right here. We see this map right here. Negro land, that means it's our people right here, right? Same thing. You see right here, this is a Sahara Desert, right? That is still the same thing right above, the same spot, right? We got same spot right over here where we're at, boom, right? The same people, right? It is the exact same people.
Hey, before you go on, I got this here. I'm going to bring this up. Now, notice how we can prove, or bring the map back up again. Bring the
Okay. Okay.
Notice that how we can prove without a shadow of a doubt where we come from and where we travel through, because historically, you know, it is documented. But these guys, these so-called imposters, get on here. They cannot provide one bit of evidence showing that their people came from these areas. You see what I'm saying? And they're just online, just talking, thinking, because they know that there's gonna be a lot of deceived people who are just gonna take their word for it and just believe anything they say. But we're coming to you with the receipts, Israel. We're showing you the proof. We're showing you the documentation of where we come from. And I'm going to show you something else that's going to blow your mind. I'm going to show you the transatlantic slave trade archive, where you can actually type in certain Israelite names, and it'll give the name of the ship, where they went, and everything. I mean, it's going to blow your mind. So let me share this right quick. Y'all,
right. All
right. Can you see that, brother?
No, I can't see it just yet. Okay, I can
print. What about now?
Yeah, right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, right. It says, you know, historical polytheistic religion of Iron Israel, worshiping a pantheon of gods headed by Yahweh, right, where eventually arrived to Judaism, right? So these folks that they were practicing, right, they were practicing the belief in Yahweh long time ago down in there. And we know we already got kicked out of Israel from the Parsi because we was wicked in the first place. But that's what they were. But this is what we were go ahead and this is what we're studying that when we're down there. Salakia, right?
And this again, and all this stuff is documented, and it shows you that, you know, this was our people. They were scattered to the four corners and everything. And when I'm gonna pull up Negro land again.
Okay.
There was a colonizer. I can't think of the guy's name. It was on the tip of my tongue. But he discovered, and he even wrote in his book that he noticed that there was a people that was still keeping the commandments of the ancient Israelites. Because, like Brother Eitan said, you know, we were kicked out in 70 AD, so we had to flee. Like the scripture says, we had to flee throughout parts of Africa. Now, the first slave trade that came was the sub-Saharan slave trade, which is known as the Arab slave trade, as they call it. And that's right there. That's the areas.
Mm-hmm.
Are right there of the routes and everything, you know, route, and then we ended up getting scattered to China and everything. And then on the back of the transatlantic, on the Arab slave trade came the Atlantic slave trade. So yeah, the Arab slave trade started around in the early 700s. And that is documented. But again, these people who are talking foolishness on this panel cannot provide one evidence of their people coming from these regions. They can't.
Right.
They don't have no kind of foundation to stand on, Israel. So don't let these devils deceive you.
Right. Something I wanted to show right here is right. I want you to understand, like this whole continent is Africa, and Israel's right here. And the old maps, right? I couldn't find the old map. I was trying hard to find one for you guys, but the old maps, Israel is a part of Africa, right? Israel is a part of Africa right here, right? You know, so let's continue with the video and let the guy speak some more, and then we're gonna discuss how these people said that they got from where they got to all the way to Israel. Now remember, the Most High, he always had a problem with us dealing with the Egyptians and the people and the people of Ham all out of here, right? Because these are our friends. These are the folks that we used to dealing with. Like we never dealt with anything on this top side. You know what I'm saying? This were the folks that always had us in captivity, right? Dealing with the Ishmaelites, the enemies, and so forth of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Down through this area, the Most High always had to, get on us about, being wicked down through here, right? So let's.
Hey, before you get back to the video out there, the spirit's moving. So since we're on this subject of our people and their routes and everything, I'm gonna show them the site right quick they can go to. So, a second. Can you take them down right quick? All right, I want y'all to look at this, y'all. Let me make that bigger. Okay. I want y'all to look at this. Write this down. It's called slavevoyages.org. All right, this is going to be important because you can go here and see one thing about the Europeans. They always documented everything because even though we were considered property, they still documented all the slaves that came on the ships.
God.
All right, for the most part, they tracked everybody. Now we don't know what tribes we are because of course, when we're scattered, we kind of lost that and everything. But if you go to this site, all right, and then once you go here, you're going to go to source, and then type in like words like Ben, Tob, Yah. Type in Israelite names, your Maya, all that stuff. You'll see that that our brothers and sisters, before they got on these slave ships, they had Israelite names.
Give them an example. Type it in real quick.
Okay, well, I got it. So like I got Ben right now. So here, like right here, you arrived with the slaves, 1839. Here, let me make this bigger so can y'all see that? 1839, voyage ID 3102. All right, the name of the vessel. See, these Europeans knew that. See, that's the only way they can create a bill of sales because they had to document everything. And that's to our advantage. But a lot of people are, don't study this. Because the old saying, if you're going to hide something from a black person, hide it in the book. All right, places where the voyages began and stuff, and then where the captives were purchased, principles. You see what I'm saying? You can play around with it, Israel. Play around with it and type in like different names. I'm gonna go to sources again. And hold on for a minute. Let me make this smaller. All right. Type in Tob.
It's locking.
All right, just bear with me. So you see how these names come up, and then you'll see these names come up and everything. Again,
Wait. Is this the site?
Yeah.
Is this the site? Because I know there's another one too that shows the last names of the slaves.
Yeah, there's other sites too. I'm gonna show you. So just give me a second here. Because we got a lot to cover, y'all. All right. Now, if you want another site to go to, all right, let's put up. This is the Digital Library of American Slavery. All right, you got slaveholders. I mean, man, there's a bunch of them. You got U.S. You got agriculture schedules of the U.S. United States Census because they didn't start keeping census on us until shortly after the 1800s. So let me go back to going back to the and then you're gonna see transatlantic. You'll click on that and everything. You go to database, bam, and it'll bring you right to the database. And then you're gonna go to source, and that's where you're gonna type in the name. So maybe maybe after the lesson or tomorrow, get some time, play around with this, and you'll see the historic history of your forefathers. That is undeniable proof, y'all. So these idiots on here talking about, they got bloodline ties to Israelites. That's a damn lie. Nothing to be further from the truth because they're not providing one bit of evidence. Now, if they would have said that, yeah, we're from the Caucasus Mountains, yeah, then I believe them because that's the facts.
Facts.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, come on. Let's just
Play this stupid video.
In our generation, we're going to see a reunion of all those tribes.
Really?
Absolutely.
We're going to see a reunion?
It's our generation
Bing bong.
to do that.
Really?
Hold on, man. He said we're gonna a reunion of all the tribes. He's talking about the Igbos and all those other black Jews, right? Now, come on now. We know all the tribes of the earth, they look the same. Man, what's up with this madness? This really stems, I guarantee you, because I think he talked to the Israelites, I don't know, or something like that, like the brothers that be on the corner or whatnot. Now, the funny thing about that is that's the same thing, that stupid ass camp doctrine that allows this kind of foolishness to come in. You could be an Argentinian, you could be the Issachar's Mexicans, you can do all you see what I'm saying? It's like that foolishness right there is what allowing this dude to come up here to say this crap. And then if you from a camp, you got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you from the camp, you follow the camp doctrine of anybody could be an Israelite, no matter hey man, you got to believe it. You got to believe that dude could be an Israelite. Yeah, you could believe, you know what I'm saying, somebody that looks like Becky could be an Israelite. A Chinese man, yeah, he could look straight like Chinese, you know what I'm saying, but he's an Israelite some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Through the seed of the, I mean, come on, man. This stuff is just,
It's just insane.
Really?
Absolutely.
It's going to be of all colors, shapes, sizes.
It's always been of all colors. You always had Jews of all
But
colors.
I know,
That's
here's
a
the
lie.
thing. Here's the thing, Roy.
What scripture is
Here's
that?
the problem. They marketed the Jewish thing as the Ashkenazis.
Yeah.
It was like all my friends that are, don't I look Jewish? I have, how many Jewish comics I work with every night? Everybody look Jewish. I look Jewish. My friend Mordecai, who's one of my best buddies in the world, he does, it's hilarious. He goes, don't I look like a Jew? And he'll turn his sideways, look at my Jewish nose. And they marketed it as if it was, they were the only ones. Because it became a look, like it became a race.
So they just said that Jews comes in all different colors, and so in other words, you're saying that the Jews look like everybody else, and that's a lie because Israel, the true Israelite, descendants of the slaves and ancient Israelites, still remain the same until this very day. All right, we're just hidden. We're not mixed out. We're not blended up. We're not raced out or anything. We are still the seed of Israel.
How can it be everybody when it's just the seed of Jacob? You know what I'm saying? When it's just the seed of Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob had 4 sisters. It's Jacob's one man and 4 sisters, right? Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah. They all look the damn same.
Yeah.
So all the children going to look the same. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is madness to believe that all of a sudden you're going to have all these different races of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Every other nation on the earth, from like the Moabites, the Hamites, you know what I'm saying, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, all of them, they all look the damn same. They the same nation of people. They look the damn same. But all of a sudden, when you get to Israel and Edom, they had all kinds of sons, and all these other nations, Ishmael and all kinds of sons, they all look the same. They all look like the same damn people. That's when you go over there to Iran and Iraq, all those folks look the damn same. They're all from the same tribe. They're all from different tribes, but they all look the damn same.
And see, this is where this camp doctrine comes in. This is why so many people get confused because these camps are pushing out that Native Americans, Mexicans, and Hispanics are Israelites. These people are Europeans. They are a version of European. In fact, they mix with the different Native Americans and Europeans. But these both people are Europeans. But yet, like Brother was saying, every other race of people on the face of the earth look like their own race. But except for us, when it comes to Negroes, all of a sudden we look like everybody else. We're white people. We're Mexicans. That's a lie. That's a lie.
You can't mix the holy seed. You was destroyed. You was literally destroyed and breed it out when you did that. You know what I'm saying? You could read Deuteronomy 23, and the Most High just goes over it. Period.
And the greatest thing that made the Most High angry was mixing our seed.
Damn right.
The Torah is filled with verses that tells us specifically not to marry or not to break our seed with other nations. That is a serious no-go. That's what got us kicked out in the first place. That's what got us into captivity in the first place, because we were doing that. The Most High had to destroy us, and he had to destroy that seed that had corrupted. Even Hamashiach did not come through a corrupt seed. You know what I'm saying?
And like the scriptures say,
come through a pure seed.
And like the scriptures say, like I read earlier in Romans 8:29, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son. That means that all of Israel, the folks who are going to be saved, are going to look like Hamashiach.
Yep.
You're going to be brown skinned with woolly hair. That's just what it is. You see what I'm saying? That's you're going to look like a so-called Negro. You're going to be an Israelite. You're not going to look like this dude over here. You know what I'm saying? This heathen, well, not the brother that's on the screen, but the heathen that's in the interview.
Yep, of course.
Go on, I'm gonna continue.
Okay.
Oh, I look Jewish. And then I was like, and I know in college and just learning from Minister Farrakhan and Malcolm, they would be like, there are black Jews, guys.
Absolutely.
Black, but it got to the point where it became racist now. They were like, what do you mean the Schwarzes are Jews? The Schwarzes, no way, that's a derogatory name for black person.
Well, I'm not Ashkenazi, but you have to
But I
understand
know,
where
I'm
it
just
comes
saying they
from.
would say that.
The reason it comes from there, you have to
Yes.
understand that Ashkenazi Jews, which is a percentage of the Jewish population, not all, had an experience for 2,000 years amongst Europeans. And the mindset of Europeans is that they are the superior
Yes.
and others are inferior.
Yes.
So 2,000 years of that is mental colonization of adopting that kind of mentality, that it's not only towards Jews that have dark skin, it's also Sephardic Jews like myself,
Yes.
or Yemenite Jews,
Yes.
or Iraqi Jews, and Iranian Jews, and seeing them.
Hey, he's so stupid that he doesn't even know that he's calling himself Ashkenazi. You know, I'm because those all came from the same area. And that's just absolute madness. You know what I'm saying? You know, Portugal and Spain. That's where they started originating from and calling themselves Jews, man. I mean, this is.
And you know, it is crazy because he's trying to make himself sound intelligent, and all he's doing is just talking foolishness while sticking his foot in his mouth at the same time.
Come on. Hey, man, give me a second. I'll be right back. All right. Salakia.
Yeah. And, you know, you know, that's all they're doing. They're sticking their foot right in their own mouth and everything. And now we have the proof. All right, we have the proof. We have the scriptures to tell us who we are, who the covenant is for. Now, we can prove in the scriptures that the covenant was not given to no other group of people, but only Israel. When you go to when you go to Hebrews 8:8, it specifically says that a renewed covenant with the children of Israel and with the children of Judah. That is the northern and the southern tribe. All right. So matter of fact, you know what? Let's go there right quick. Let's go to Romans 8:8. Because we got to understand when it comes to defending our faith, you know, we got to be on it, y'all. We got to be on top of things. We got to know like we've never known before, you know. And this is why it's important to really study these scriptures and everything. Because when you got these guys coming along, they'll just say anything to make it sound good, but they don't show no bit of evidence because they can't. They don't have any evidence. All right. Now let's go to Romans. Start at verse 8.
God. I'm back.
It says, and I'll read this right quick because I just want to show y'all that the covenant was given to Israel only, not no other nation of people. It says, for finding fault with them, he says, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, when I will make a renewed covenant. Why is it a renewed covenant? Because it's the same covenant. It's just with a different generation. With the house of Yasharel, northern tribe, and with the house of Yehuda, which is the southern tribe. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mitzrayim. So he's talking about our forefathers. It's because they continue not in my covenant. Why? Because of unbelief. They did not believe. They went astray. And I regarded them not, says Yahweh. So, you know, the covenant was never broken with the children of Israel. You know, he had to take us through all this captivity to get us to this point, to this very day. So he's still going to have a remnant seed that's going to be left. And this seed is going to be Negroes scattered to the four corners.
God.
And if you notice that when you look at black people, so-called black people, all right, I'll talk the language that people can understand it. When you look at so-called black people, Negro, everywhere, like you can tell a Hamite between a Negro. Like you know, I can tell. You know, when you see a Hamite, there's certain features that they have that Negroes don't have. All right, just because we're black doesn't mean we're all the same. It's just certain features that we have. Most Hamites don't even grow beards. You know,
they got that ashy skin. That I mean, like their skin don't glisten like Israel's skin.
Yeah,
I hate to say that. You know,
Yep.
they over there drinking blood, making cuts in their skin. Ain't none of our people had that when we came over here on the boats.
And they
They
have
had
these,
no big lips, no earrings.
and they have these practices that they do that are customary. So you can tell a difference between the just like certain Asians. Like when you look at a Japanese, I can tell the difference between a person who's of Japanese descent and who of Korean descent. You see what I'm saying? You can tell the difference. So because you have all Asians, it doesn't mean that they all look alike. They just they have different origins and everything. They're not all the same people. But so I know what I mean. All right, brother.
All right. Let me see.
As lesser. Now that doesn't mean it's all Ashkenazi Jews. Most Jews are good people.
Listen, first of all,
there
of course
is that
not.
that happens.
My manager, David Klingman, rest his soul, Ashkenazi, Rush, the nicest man I've ever met in my life. Such a good man. And he never got into, he explained the Igbo thing to me. One of the smartest men I've ever talked to, and he was one of those, just a good dude. He was just a good guy. He never got caught up in that shit. He can have a real conversation with people, Of course, I know plenty of, and not to be corny, there's good people in every damn race.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you're a person, an African-American, a Caribbean, when you're part of black should not even be used, but people that look like me, it's like you feel like everyone hates you. Even people who have been oppressed, like John Stewart said, hurt people hurt people. I have Arabs that are racist. I've seen Asians racist as shit. And they'll go through shit and then come to the black people, go, yo, look what's happening to us. And we'll go, yo, that ain't right. But then they'll get their going. And then when it happens to us, nobody's backing us. Nobody's backing us when we get murdered by the cops every fucking 5 minutes. But
see, right, that's the real persecution of Israel is what he's describing, right? They don't got nothing to do with it because everybody does hate us, just like the scriptures say that it will happen, right?
Oh, but then we supposed to, you got people that open stores in black neighborhoods and treat the black people like shit.
Well, who wins if all these minorities are fighting each other?
And guess who's doing it? It's the government. They give these money to these people to open stores in ghettos because black people.
Yeah, I'm going to bring out now when Godfrey was talking about how people get treated. Now we have Negroes scattered to the four corners. For example, I'm going to give an example. Lorenzo de Negros in Mexico, which is, I don't know if y'all remember, I did a video on Gaspar Yanga. He was a so-called Israelite that was captured in Africa, brought to South America and everything. Of course, they rose up against the Spaniards and everything. They created their first free town in Mexico. Now, they consider those people as Afro-Mexican, just like they consider us as Afro-Americans. You have Negroes in China who are considered who are noted as it's on the books on the African. In Chinese and everything, Afro-Chinese. So everywhere you go, they're Afro, whatever that nation is, and they look just like us. And guess what? They get treated like crap. Did y'all know that the Freetown in San Luis Negro in Mexico? They just started taking a census on the Afro-Mexicans there in 2020. 2020 was the first time they've ever gathered a census, and if you ever go there, you're not going to find them in the main town and everything. You're going to have to go in the outskirts. You're going to find them in the most ghettoish parts of Mexico in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So, do your research. You look up every Afro ethnic ethnicity in every country, and you'll see that these people look just like us, but they are treated the worst in every nation on earth that they're in.
That's the real spreading to the four corners of the earth.
People aren't worth it. They go, open your shit over there, and you could treat them any kind of way you want. And they have us fighting amongst each other. Mm-hmm. Growing up in Chicago, I had a lot of Vietnamese refugee friends that got right off the boat in the 80s. Vietnam, my neighbors were from Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. All my buddies. They told us this shit. They say, they tell us that black people no good. We call them midang. Midang in Vietnam. Midang is a derogatory word for it. They say, we call you midang because they tell us black people no good. And these are my friends telling me this, and I'm giving them clothing because they're refugees. My pops is buying clothing for these people. But they said, they tell us black people no good. And I said, your friends are black and we protect you. They say, no, but they got them
clothes.
What you say?
You got them clothes.
Clothing, food, because they just got there. But it's just what the government and this fucking country and the European attitude of black people, and they do it to Arabs in France and all. They treat the Arabs like shit. And you would think that everybody has been being oppressed would be like this, but it doesn't happen like that. And I think it's a natural thing when you're at the top to become the oppressor for some reason. I think in any like society, you know what I mean?
I think the role of a Jew within white supremacy throughout history
Yes.
has always been to use them as the face of the oppression.
Yes.
For example, the Jews that had an experience in Europe, which again, like we said, was not all Jews,
Right.
they were used to be the tax collectors. They were not allowed to own land. They were not allowed to participate in agrarianism, to sell crops and cattle and so on. They were used to be the tax collectors. Why?
Yeah.
Because they were taxing them by 90% of their earnings. And who was taking the money? It was the Jews, but not for the Jews. It was for the king and queen. But the face of the oppression was the Jew. And that's what we see happening.
The so-called white Jew that they're talking about.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know, so what you're trying to establish here that the so-called the Jews were white. Now notice now before this Kyrie Irving and this Kanye West thing, you know, these heathen ain't never said anything about any kind of African Jews of any kind of, you know, colored, you know, people of color, you know what I'm saying, being Jews, right? They just want to claim it themselves. Just like he was saying earlier, Godfrey was making the point earlier that you know, his buddy is talking about, don't I look Jewish because I have a big nose, and you know, evidently because he's white.
Again today, where people are experiencing oppression from the top, but the face that they're seeing is the Jew. And then they're saying the Jews run the banks, the Jews run the media, the Jews run the government.
Forefront,
and you have some individual Jews that have been let to rise up into those positions intentionally in order to make it seem as we're the ones that are responsible for those crimes. And by the way, most of those Jews in Hollywood and other places, people that Kanye was calling out, don't even themselves care about Judaism. Usually don't marry Jews themselves.
They're not
Don't
even
care.
real. Are they real? Are they phony? Zionist? What's this Zionist thing?
Being a Jew, you can't take that away from
But they're saying like, okay, notice how they're saying that they're not Jews, right? And then earlier he said that you got to practice Judaism to be a Jew, right? Now, if these dudes are calling themselves Jews, right, and they're not practicing Judaism, how in the hell are they considered to be Jews? It's because these heathens are saying that their race is the race of the Jews. Now it's, you know what I'm saying, like we really have to pay attention to what's going on as a people, because if you don't, you'll get caught up in this double talk.
from you, right? It's like being a black person. You can't take that
Take it
away
away,
from you.
right.
You will always be a Jew, but that doesn't mean they have the best interest of the Jewish people or act on behalf of the Jewish people.
Of course.
So when you have individuals that happen to have been born Jewish, you can never take that identity from them, who don't care about their Judaism at all or act like a true Jew, which is someone who's bringing morality into this world, bringing oneness into this world. Then people look at that person and say, oh, that must be all Jews, when the majority of the Jews don't act that way.
Right. And it's up because stereotypes are so easy to stick.
They're the
Because-
things that are most appealing, especially in comedy and
Oh yeah, but it's
And-
yeah. And with comedy, like he was saying, we use tropes. It's just
Yes.
a shortcut to get the laugh, because we're just trying to get you to laugh. It's the ridiculousness of the stereotypes.
Yeah.
I mean, black stereotypes, black people, we laugh at that. We're probably the best at laughing at. It's really hard to offend us. We don't get offended by shit unless you're saying kill black people. We'll be like, no, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
But you can make fun of. We will laugh. But
Yeah.
I've seen like some Jewish people, and Jewish people have been oppressed, so they make some of the best comedians themselves. You got some great legendary comedians, but some of them will get a little, you shouldn't have said that, you shouldn't have said that. You know, Irish don't get too offended. They'll make fun because they've been treated like too. But
This is a place of ignorance that he's talking for. Now, I'm sorry to keep stopping it, but you got to remember, Israel, he doesn't know the scriptures, right? And then, you know, he doesn't even, know the law, statutes, and commandments, even though he's from the Igbo tribe, right? You know, he knows that his people know that they're Jews, but as far as himself, he doesn't have the knowledge of the scriptures. So therefore, he's fumbling, and he doesn't know how to protect his people in the face of these heathen.
black folks,
Ak, you got anything you want to say? Slock.
No. I was going to say the same thing. And basically, you know, they're just using his ignorance against them, because, you know, all they're doing is just talking. But before you do the video, let me just put up these books one more time. So for those of you who just came on or whatever, make sure that you write this book down. Arthur Kessler, The 13th Tribe. It talks about how these people became and how they got over to Jerusalem, and he exposes them as the false people or as converts, nowhere close. And then also get the invention of the Jewish people. Those are two good books to really get, because you're going to see all the receipts that you need in these two books. All right.
woo, we can take anything because we go, what else has anybody not done to us that's fucked up? Which is just jokes. A lot of times, too, the Jewish stereotype, I don't even know why y'all are mad. Oh, you own everything. Oh, what a bad stereotype. God, I would love that
I'll tell you where it comes from. In Nazi
I would
Germany,
love that stereotype.
in Nazi
Oh, we
Germany-
own everything.
But hold up. This is where it comes from. In Nazi Germany, Jews didn't own everything. They were told that they owned everything, which made everyone go and attack them and eventually kill 6 million. So Being funny is a superpower. You could use it for good. You could use it for bad.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, but that's a lie right there, right? The Jews owned the bank during the time in Nazi Germany, right? And the reason why Hitler came to power is because the so-called Jews that were over there that owned the banks, the inflation had risen so high that they were, the people of Germany that was there, they were literally going up to the banks with wheelbarrows full of money. I'm not even exaggerating, wheelbarrows full of money just to buy a loaf of bread, right? And so that's what caused the situation for them. It's not because they're sitting up there lying and saying that, you know, the Jews own the banks. They're doing the same thing that they're doing over here in America. They own all the TV programs, you know, like 85% of the, or was it 90% of the TV networks? You know, that's what they own, right? They own that stuff. That's what they're doing. They're doing the same thing that they were doing over there in Germany. Now they're taking that same stuff over here, right? In Germany, they had drove the inflation rate high and doing that stuff because what they were doing is they were pushing the same thing that they're doing over here: transgenderism, right? Pedophilia, you know, saying homosexuality, you know, saying pornography and things of that nature. If you look at it, right, all of these sources are pushed by the so-called Jewish people, right? You know, saying the people that are not of the scriptures, that are people that do not come from the line of Jacob, even though that they claim that they do.
That's right.
Salakia.
Right.
There are certain lines. You know, when Dave Chappelle came on and started making jokes about anti-Semitism, and not everyone took it seriously. For me, I didn't like what Dave Chappelle said at all because he's desensitizing society.
What did you like in the jokes? I would like to know. That'd be interesting.
So let me just give another example of Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Right? Imagine after Floyd being killed, George Floyd, right? Very heavy situation. The whole world was moved. I'm sure you were hurt and you were serious about that situation, right? Imagine a non-black person comes on and starts making fun about racism right after that happens. Would people then say, "Oh well, everything"?
What is the joke he's telling them?
Okay, so let's break down what Dave Chappelle said. First of all, he starts his monologue with a speech saying that he condemns anti-Semitism, but joking about it, not being serious, as if you make a monologue and then all of a sudden anything you say is going to be okay, and everyone's laughing.
No, wait. Okay, remember, we're comedians. He's telling a joke,
but it's not funny.
But to you.
Yeah, but the problem is when the world laughs at anti-Semitism, which is a real thing, then they realize that it's not.
But laughing, he wasn't laughing at.
I'm sorry, right? Just to break it down, right? The reason why these people are so sensitive, right, about this stuff is because they know it can be so easily taken apart, right? So it can be so easily broken apart. Now, and I'm gonna show you in a minute, but I'm gonna let this video play for a little while before I go to the background.
First of all, Dave's not anti-Semitic.
I didn't say
he couldn't be because Lauren Michaels runs.
So like we're saying that, anytime they crowd anti-Semitism, you know, it's like now because they're getting their foot stuck in their mouth and everything, it's like they have to have something in place because for so long they've cried out anti-Semitism and nobody's ever questioned it. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember when Kevin Hart said something when they was crying out some anti-Semitism or something, and you know they had to apologize and all that kind of stuff, just like what they did Irving. You know, they said, okay, he got to do this, he got to do these 6 items in order to come back to the Nets. Of course, he caved in, did those 6 items and everything. But that's what they want to do. They want to try to establish to the world that they have established this anti-Semitism that everybody has to go along with. But now that the truth is coming out, and now that their position, even in their being in that land, is being questioned now, it's like they got their backs up against the wall.
Go
ahead, bro.
SNL, and he's Jewish, and
that doesn't matter.
And he worked in an Israeli club.
That still doesn't matter.
That doesn't.
I think it could be or couldn't be. It's based on himself, not based on his surroundings or where he lives.
So he said, "This will buy you, Kanye. This will buy you some time." That when he said that letter, it was hilarious.
I thought it was funny too.
It was funny as fuck because you know what? He was making fun.
But I do understand what he's saying though.
The Jewish people are very hurt at the moment, and there's real trauma that we face, and there's real persecution in New York City. You live in New York, right?
Yes, sir.
13% of the population is Jewish. Over 56% of the total hate crimes are specifically targeted against Jews. Nobody understands our struggle and what we face.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know that. I didn't know that percentage because we get shot a lot. So I don't know because we're always getting arrested.
You shouldn't
and
hear any of our trauma as a competition or any.
No, it's not a competition. I don't know because I think that everybody hates.
So you know, it's funny that their hark on 6 million so-called Jewish people being which wasn't near 6 million. I was in Poland. All right, I visited the museum where they had where the people had before they went to the gas chamber. It was nowhere near 6 million. I talked to a historian on that and everything. But you know, these people, every time when we bring up our flight, they fail to realize that I'm talking about millions. We're talking about over 200
99 plus
million.
million.
We're talking over 200 and something million plus higher, probably over 300 million. We're talking about slaves from early 700 AD to this present day. We've been experimenting. We have been the most mistreated. Look, everybody else got reparations except for us. We still ain't got nothing. I'm saying I'm not looking for anything, but I'm just telling you. But it's funny how they ignore us, and ours is it's 1,000 times intense than anything that they can ever thought they've been through. Now their people did not come over here on slave ships. They didn't get their backs beat in. They didn't get their kids thrown to alligators and everything. These people pretty much converted to Judaism in some form or fashion, and then called themselves Jews, and then moved themselves over to Jerusalem.
Let the Lord didn't take them over there. Yeah.
That's why I told you to read those two books. The 13 tribes. That's going to break everything down, and he has the receipts to prove it. And he gives all the locations where they're from. And guess what? Not one location is listed on what we show on the maps. Not one.
Right? I'll break that. I mean, like, you're gonna know that the other 11 tribes are when the other 10 tribes are in 11:11, where those areas are, because like I said before, right? We always got in trouble because we always kept running back down that way into Africa, dealing with the Hamites, you know what I'm saying, and dealing with Egyptians and so forth and so on, right? You know what I'm saying? That stuff has always been the same. All right, hold up. Where we at? Salakia
hates black people. I really believe that because it shows. And I've seen, and like I said, I don't like anybody being dehumanized. I don't play that.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
You another comment.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I want to hear
see,
Dave.
when Dave did that letter thing, I thought it was funny because he's making fun of the way Kanye went about it. That's what he's making.
But even if Kanye read a letter, which by the way, in Kanye's speeches and in his interviews, he was talking about how he loves Jews so much. So he said those things, that he supports the Jewish community, he loves the Jewish community, he envies the Jewish. So he said those things, but he also said other things. So let's break down the problematic things that were said. So first of all, when you're starting your monologue by making fun of dealing with anti-Semitism is by making a statement, but then you're allowed to say what you want, is a little bit problematic. Then he said things like, well, Jews have to stop blaming black people for their Holocaust. I mean, you're Jewish. Have you ever heard of a Jew in your life blaming black people for the Holocaust?
We talked about that. We talked about that last
in the
week.
minds of people that, next time they see a Jew, they blame me for the Holocaust.
They called like certain black leaders Hitlers. And that's tough.
But I mean, Hitler is being used as a word for anything.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
call
That was
Trump
like, you're like
Hitler,
a Hitler. I go,
Yeah.
Well, people use that term
nobody's
today
killing
in general.
black folks. Don't kill Jews like that. We don't. That's a fucked up label to put on somebody. That's Hitler did some really.
That's everyone.
But again, you're talking about individuals, and they use that term throughout whatever society. Now we're talking about like Jews themselves.
Yeah,
I've never had in my life a conversation where Jews are blaming black people for the Holocaust.
When he said stop blaming black people, what he's saying is, there's a lot of subtext in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of times people take it literally, and that's why a lot of Nigerians, when I do Nigerian shows, I go, it's not literal, guys. Read between the lines. He's saying you're getting mad at Kyrie Irving. The shit you're doing to Kyrie Irving is just not. It's just a little overboard.
I think it's because it was right after Kanye.
And it's like you're blaming them. It's like you're being ridiculous on how you're treating, especially Kyrie and that's what he was saying with that. He didn't
technically referring to
I don't know what
Kyrie.
it has
He was
to do with
referring to those guys.
But how does that have to do with the Holocaust?
What are you talking about?
I mean, the fact that he said that Jews stop blaming black people for your Holocaust, what does that have to do with?
Because it's the anti-Semitism thing has to do with the Holocaust is a big deal.
Sure.
It's like slavery with us, slavery with African Americans.
Yeah.
That's a big deal that people are trying to skip and not fucking
or the Biafra
talk
War.
about, and the Biafra War. But like with African Americans, slavery contributes to a lot of the decadence in the African American community. After slaves were freed, Reconstruction happened. They didn't give them jobs, nothing. They gave them sharecropping jobs, which was still slavery. Didn't let them own land, none of that. Took their name, took their identity, and a lot of slaves came from the West Africa.
From Israelite tribes.
You couldn't read. It was illegal for black people to read.
Hey, right, you heard what he said? He said from Israelite tribes, right? That's what he just said. He just said from Israelite tribes. That was the same pictures that I was, bringing up from before, right? From that map right there, right? These Israelite tribes over here in the Congo area, right? Salakia, right? In areas through here, right? You know what I'm saying? Which they had, where they migrated on out, you know what I'm saying? Then we had the, the dispersion, right? North America, Caribbean, South America, things of that nature. All right, Salakia.
You could get hung. They hung black people. They did all kind of shit. So that's like with the Holocaust, that's serious as fuck.
Mhm.
And I get why people get sensitive. Motherfuckers make jokes about slavery all the time.
But there's certain lines.
I know there's lines, but people don't draw lines with us because back in the day, there were Jewish comedians wearing blackface. Al Jolson, Eddie Cantor, they wore blackface. Jewish performers. Yo, show Al Jolson with blackface on singing. Watch this. These are Jewish. These are
I
Jewish
don't know what the point of that.
comedian. Nah, I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
Individuals, sure.
You know that.
No, but see what he's saying is that why the white boys getting upset is because, right, if the black Igbo tribes are supposed to be Jews and they're supposed to be black, right, wouldn't these so-called white Jews know about this? Why would they be making fun of their own people? You see what I'm saying? It makes it makes no sense at all what it was going on, right? And then on top of it, right, even if it was 6 million Jews, right? Even if it was 6 million so-called white people that got gassed out or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying, in the Holocaust. Even if it was, right? How dare you can't even begin to compare that to the tragedy of slavery.
No,
right? For him to even sit there and try to compare, you know what I'm saying? If anything, he should concede and be like, you know what, you're right. Your people were slaughtered by the tens of millions, right? You know what I'm saying? Your people were slaughtered by the tens of millions. You didn't even, you know what I'm saying? Even if that story was true, it was only 6 million, y'all. 99 plus million Israelites, right? Millions and millions didn't even make the trip over here. And this heathen has the nerve to sit there and try to compare trauma. I mean, it's not a competition, but if it was, heathen, you need to shut the hell up.
Yeah, you still wouldn't even come close.
Come on.
All commit little crimes. I don't look at me.
I would be right next to telling them that that's wrong.
That's right.
The point that I'm saying is right now nobody's taking Jews seriously. Like you go to
who doesn't take Jewish
let me
people
explain.
serious?
This is what you need to understand from our perspective,
Okay,
because the media doesn't talk about the Jewish perspective and the Jewish experience, right? Your racism that you experience is usually from one particular group that's anti the black, right? The
Which
left
is
usually
damn
white
near
supremacists,
everybody,
right?
It's
Facts.
Asians.
But usually
Anti-
Asians that are inspired by the ideas of white supremacy. You're saying that when your friends came, they were told that they're bad, right? So it's usually stemming from that, right? Who usually hates the left? The right. Who usually hates the right? The left. Who usually hates women? Men. It's usually one opposite.
Right there,
you know who hates the Jews? Literally every.
Now he said, you hated by one particular group. The Torah says that ye shall be hated among all nations.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that right there tells you that we are the most hated people on the face of the earth.
Facts.
But yet they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to address that. Go ahead.
Every single group. The far right blames the Jews for being the left. Far left blames every single group's extreme.
Right.
The far left blames the group for being the right.
Yes.
The communists say that we're the capitalists. The capitalists say that we're the communists. You have the super, black people that are saying, like the Farrakhan's. I know that.
One question is, bro, man, you're seeing all this crap, right? But who do you see in the news all the time? Niggas. That's all you see on social media. On the news, niggas is stealing, niggas in jail, niggas is twerking, niggas is dancing, niggas is singing. You know what I'm saying? There's always something negative. You know what I'm saying? Oh, why black people can't act right. This, that, and the third. Oh, these niggas, they just can't. Gun violence, they're killing each other, so forth and so on. Man, you barely hear anything about Israel unless they over there fighting, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of war over there because, them heathens know good and well that, that they ain't supposed to be the hell up over there. Right, they know good and well they ain't supposed to be up over there. That's why everybody is causing a problem over there. What was that? Gamal Abdur Nasser. Man, he said, there's always going to be beef in Israel. How the hell they leave black and come back white?
You're a friend of him, but he said,
I'm not. He doesn't know me.
Okay, well, listen.
But no,
Farrakhan says a lot of foul things about the Jewish people.
What does he say? Have you seen his speeches?
Yes, I've seen his speeches.
What does he say?
He says Jewish white devils. He says a lot of
no.
things.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he did.
You don't see his speech.
I did see his speech.
No, he
does say that.
He does say that.
When?
Termites?
Yeah, I think
termites. You gotta watch
when?
all the time.
What speech? That's
listen. Hold on.
No, I'm not a Nation of Islam guy. I'm not.
Sure.
I think I
a lot
listen
of
to
good things for the black community, so we're separating those things. But he says some very foul, problematic things against the Jews. The white
against the Jewish that aren't real Jews. He's talking about.
What Jews aren't real Jews?
I don't even get into that because I don't get into the, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about the
Me.
He's
No,
doing
the
replacement
Zionists,
theology.
or, you know
what
this-
is a Zionist?
I don't, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so let me tell you.
Explain it to me.
Zionism is the right for the Jewish people to self-determine on their ancestral homeland.
Okay.
It's the idea that
Self-determined on their ancestral homeland. Where is that in the scriptures? The scripture that Brother Daniel brought out earlier.
the Jews should be able to return.
The scripture that Brother Daniel brought out earlier, it said that what? That Hamashiach is going to bring them back, right? The Most High is going to bring the children back to the land. It ain't got nothing to do with you choosing your own right to come back in. That's wicked as hell, man.
Return back to the land.
Mhm.
If you want your people that are in diaspora to return back to Biafra, or the tribe of God that are descendants from Eri that are Igbos to come back to Israel, that is the idea of Zionism, returning to Zion. You ever hear the song
Yes,
Road to
of course,
Zion?
of course.
Returning to Zion, which means Jerusalem.
So
So Zionism
Right.
means the right for
Making
the Jewish
sure.
people to be able to live back in their homeland. It has nothing to do with 1948 or the conflict or Palestinians, which, by the way, I work on the ground daily uniting Israelis and Palestinians for us to live in a better reality
Yeah.
that unites both peoples.
I don't even like talking about that either, because people get sensitive as,
That we can go deep into that if you want.
yo, let's go, man. That,
Do it.
Yeah.
I want you
Fuck
to
the
go
comments.
deep.
It's a cesspool.
Yo, so with the Palestinian, because I have Palestinian friends,
Sure,
Israeli
of
friends,
course.
who's in the wrong? Honestly,
The British.
The British.
What did they do to your country?
Oh man, colonize the fuck out of us.
And they united 3 large groups
Yeah.
and they made them fight each other.
Yep.
That's what they did in Afghanistan. That's what they did in India, Pakistan. And that's what they did between the Israelis and Palestinians. Now, what did they do to make us think that the other is the enemy or any success of the other is a counter to our own narrative? They appointed the leader of the Palestinians, Haj Amin al-Husseini, who was a person who was very anti the Jewish people, had met with Hitler. So to the view of the Jews, if this is your leader, it must mean that all the Palestinians want to kill us and are bad. Now, what did they do to convince the Arab world and the Palestinians that the Jews are bad? The British write the Balfour Declaration, saying that we have the intention of one day giving and creating a Jewish state. Now, when they wrote that, they didn't even have control over that land. And when they did have control, you had the Holocaust, and the British were not allowing to Jews to come in the land. So if they
Slovakia, right? Like I said, it's supposed to be of the Most High, not of a damn Balfour Declaration or any gifting of any heathen. You know what I mean? This is ridiculous.
really had the intention of allowing Jews to come back to the land, why didn't they let them back? Even after the Holocaust, they were preventing Jews from coming back. They never had the intentions of letting go. The reason why the British left is because the Jews terrorized them until they left.
Get that the fuck out. Yeah.
If the British right
Now, when he says coming back, don't get it confused as that these people were actually thrown out of Israel. He's talking about the beginning of this Zionist thing where you know, the so-called belief of these heathen they created for themselves to be Jews, that they should go back to Israel, claiming that to be their homeland because they say that they are Jews. This has nothing to do with them being the actual bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
to document that the entire Arab world sees, and entire Palestinians, that they want to create a Jewish state, then the idea of Jews returning to the land, in their mind, becomes an extension of European colonialism.
Hey,
And that's how you turn two people like
Because prior to when did they go with it? Was it 1948? I believe it was 1948, 1947. But anyway, prior to that, these people were never in Jerusalem. These people never occupied Jerusalem. And now that book I brought up, the 13th Tribe by Arthur Kessler, it proves that. It shows you that, and he proved without a shadow of doubt that these people were never in Jerusalem prior to 1948. Never occupied that because it was desolate for a long time.
against each other. And we were not born in 1948 or before that. We were born with the consequences of our ancestors that have been played against each other. And now it's our turn as a generation to wake up from that and to start changing.
And I love that explanation because that's what they did to, and it's so funny.
House
Me,
of
I grew
Fulani,
up-
Yoruba, and
yeah, of course.
Igbos.
Well, my parents would have, and my cousin told me this because he
You
has
see
a-
what I locked him up, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's funny is my cousin he's a pastor in South Africa, Uchenna. He explained my last name is Danchima. Okay, my real last name is Chima. During Biafra War, my father had to change it to Danchima so he wouldn't die because they were looking for Igbos. The houses they were trying to kill Igbos, and my father was like, "I'm Danchima." He took his
We're
father's
still killing Igbos. right?
yeah, he took his
People should
father's
know.
name and combined it, and to escape. I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
My father didn't change the name real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you explained it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't ever get to hear the breakdown.
How long were you in Israel for?
Like 10 days, man. We were at Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. What's the one that starts with an R?
I don't know.
I think it might have been that one city there. And then I went all that
Cool.
Dead Sea. I did everything. You know what I mean? And we were raising money for Israeli children, man, doing comedy and stuff.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, even a lot of people, even Martin Luther King was called anti-Semitic. A lot of people were just called
Well,
anti-Semitic.
Martin Luther King was
Even-
also called a Zionist.
Yeah, and John Stewart, he was called
Martin Luther King
anti-Semitic.
identified as a Zionist.
So so it's like, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
to go back to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, just for us to understand,
Yes.
there's no reality where Israelis or Palestinians disappear. So the only way for us to move forward is to create a reality where we heal the injustices that both experience, which are different,
Israelis.
and fulfill the aspirations that both have, which are also different. And we've been raised that to be pro-Israel, you're supposed to be anti the Palestinians. And to be pro the Palestinians, you have to be anti the Israelis. And the reality is that this conflict only fuels certain individuals, people in positions of power, certain corporations, and definitely the American military industrial complex that is selling weapons to both sides and profiting from this war continuing. And we are the people on the ground that are human beings that are suffering. I've lost friends. Palestinians have lost friends. And what's reality is that we're cousins. 30 to 60% of Palestinians actually descend from Jews themselves, which converted to Christianity and Islam over time.
It's so terrible because that's what I was going to say, Mike. Because growing up in Chicago, it's a gang-ridden city, and it was started.
The reality is that we're cousins. 30 to 60% of Palestinians actually descend from Jews themselves, which converted to Christianity and Islam over time.
It's so terrible.
Come on, man. Palestinians. Let's keep going.
That's what I was going to say, Mike. Because growing up in Chicago, it's a gang-ridden city, and it was started because the gangs in Chicago were used as they were trying to start programs for the youth in the black neighborhoods. And the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, they said, "Nah, we got to keep these motherfuckers fighting." So they started to send in little decoys, black people that would come in and start trouble, and then they started fighting amongst each other. It was the U.S. government that started the gangs, man. They continue to give them weapons and shit like that and start trouble. They have decoys that dress like they're gangbangers and start trouble. That's how this was. So it's the same thing
with the Jews and the blacks.
And it's up.
Yeah.
And
Which, by the way, you're both.
Hey.
Because matzah is soup is the you know what I mean?
It's true what he's talking about.
I said Habala spelled backwards is hollaback. I keep trying to tell.
Yeah. You love that, Jay.
I love that. I think it's great.
I know it is a good one.
Because there's oi and then there's yo.
Brooklyn Museum. I shot the Kanye video.
Yes, yes.
In front of the oi.
No, this is dope. Because I like people who are well studied, and you're actually. How much time did you spend?
Right. Did you see the look on that heathen's face when he was talking about holler back and how he was looking like, man, I don't want nothing to do with you, nigga. Right. It's just stuff is crazy, man. You can just see. I mean, like, man, you got to be able to tell. And you know good and well that he's literally saying that these two are brothers and they are the same people from the same tribe. That does not make any sense. Anyone that has two eyeballs in their head that work can easily see that these people are from two different races.
Yeah.
Been in Nigeria because you went to jail?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in and out of Africa this entire year because our documentary is a documentary series on all the different communities. It's in Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Madagascar, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia. And so Nigeria was the first place that we went to. We were there for 2 days, had one of the most beautiful experiences I've had in my life, reconnecting with our family that we haven't seen for thousands of years. And on the third day in the morning, there's 15 armed gun militants that pull up to our hotel with black ski masks, throw us into a van, drag us into a prison 12 hours away. And we were 3 weeks in a sisters. And you know what? If the situation was reversed and the Igbos had come back to Israel, right? The Tanzanian Jews had come back to Israel. The Lemba in Zimbabwe and South Africa had come back to Israel. The Pashtuns had come back to Israel. And we were still suffering in North Africa, where my family was born, or in Yemen, in Iran, in Europe, and other places. Wouldn't we expect them to come for us?
Damn right.
So the fact that they're still suffering, they're disconnected, and we're living these comfortable lives, and we have Israel, we have a strong country, a strong economy, and we're not out there trying to find them and bring them back, that is a problem. And so we need to start.
All right. That ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures. The scriptures don't say nothing about our people going into Israel, having a strong economy, and how Mashiach isn't leading it, right? I mean, like, where are these people getting this stuff from? I mean, the Most High said when he brings back to Israel, all the tribes going to come back, not just the Jews, and these folks are not the Jews, right? Let's continue a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and break down and show you where these folks come from.
Having a conversation in our generation in our community, what is the next chapter of Jewish history? And the next chapter of Jewish history does not only include the few tribes that have kept their tradition, it's also with those who've been disconnected and those who've lost it along the way.
Man, I love this.
Yeah.
So you
should go with them, man. What you waiting for?
Man, you relax. All right. I don't want to get thrown in a prison. I just want to hang out.
You thought they got kidnapped and abducted and went to the comedy cellar?
That's because Nigeria is run by a military government. The corruption is crazy, always has been. When I went to Nigeria to see my grandparents, they had a coup while we were there. They kicked the president off the television. We had to get the. It's that gangster.
That's not funny.
It's funny because it's like, wait, what? Did they just? We had to get the fuck out. I was like, we have to go. We have to go now. Yes, they had a coup. They're going to close the airports. We had to. It was crazy. That's how nuts it is. They don't hear in America. We can talk. President, hey man, Trump. Nothing happened to you.
Yeah,
nothing.
And these other countries, whether it's Saudi, you better keep
disappear.
You will be gone. when I was doing comedy in Russia, I was the first American to do comedy in Russia. Didn't know that. They were like, don't talk bad of Putin, don't talk bad of God, and don't be gay. They had me rolling. Don't be gay, you go to jail. Period. Exactly what they said. And I said, first of all, what the fuck made you think I was going to talk about Putin? I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. You understand? So these other countries don't play that. They don't give a. And so you're going back again to finish up your. How far are you into this documentary?
So unfortunately, on our third day, we got taken to prison and we were deported out of the country. So we weren't able to finish. We do plan to go back when we can, but for now, we're still banned. Since then, we went to Uganda, to Tanzania, to Zimbabwe, to South Africa, to
They
Madagascar.
welcomed you.
Yeah, and I mean, in Nigeria, they're not welcoming us right now because we're here to, support the Igbos, and we're not here to create any political tension. We're here to talk.
You know why? Because those people in Nigeria are not stupid. They know good and well that doggone you are not brothers. You know, they're gonna know that the dude looks like this does not look like a Nigerian. No, man, you're not an Israelite. You know, your people. I will show you. A matter of fact, let's just go ahead and go to it right now. You know what I'm saying? Why these dudes are on there?
Yeah.
Because this is just all right. Let's start. A matter of fact, let's do this for a second. Salakia. Okay. I want to read something real quick, right? Can you guys see this? It's okay. It says beginnings, right? So this is just one source of many. They all say the same thing. This is not just, one little something that you can find on there. You can, their beginnings are multiple sources online. This just happened to be one of them, right? JewishHistoryOnline.net. Beginnings, Ashkenazi and Sephardic immigrants, right? Hey, what does Sephardic mean? You mind pulling up and showing the people real quick? Yeah. All right. I want y'all to see what this means, right? Which is what the guy just now said what he was. Khan, that's it right there.
Can you read
Right?
that?
Yeah, Khan. It says Sephardic Jews, right? Jewry of Hispania, right? Ladino, right? Or Jewish diaspora associated with the Iberian Peninsula, right? Now, where is the Iberian Peninsula? Right? That's between Spain and Portugal. Okay, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute on the map. All right, go ahead and and take that down. Okay, so I want to show you that that those are people from Spain. Those are white people, right? Those are white folks. They ain't got nothing to do. That's way on the other side of the map, right? Yep. That's nowhere near Israel, right? So let's I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can blow this up, Salakia. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit for the people. All right.
There you go.
All right, Khan. All right. It says early history of Hamburg's Jewish community is closely linked to two formative migration movements in Jewish history. Around 1500, which resulted in a reconstitution, right, of Jewish diaspora, a migration of the Ashkenazi Jews to Eastern Europe, and the expulsion of Jews from the kingdoms of Spain and Portugal, right, which is what we're talking about the Iberian Peninsula. Until the 14th century, right, Central Europe and the Iberian Peninsula were the most important centers of Jewish life, right? Yet Ashkenazi Jews had been expelled or displaced from many cities in Central Europe as early as 13th century. Now, so you can read pretty much, a bunch of this, but I just wanted to show you, right, where these people are, where they came from, right? It says small groups of Sephardic Jews were allowed to settle in, Italian ports such as Venice, Lovreno, and such as that. And I just want to show where these particular Jews were dwelling at, right? Now, let's go to some maps here, right? Let's go to some maps. Let me see. I need a map of the Middle East. All right, Khan. All right, boom, right? Okay. Now we see over here Portugal and Spain, right? And you see this line that's going down here, right? That's around the Iberian Peninsula, right? So this is where these people are from. Now, Israel is way over here, right? Right by Egypt, right connected to Egypt, because we know we did what? We split the Red Sea, we went on through there, right? And the Most High made us wander around for a good little while, right? Because we was wicked as hell, right? So, right, we see way over here Portugal and Spain, right? Now, what these heathen did, they made a journey all the way from Portugal to Spain, France, as we saw Italy, right? And we saw that they were setting up colonies. This is where they are coming from. And remember now, they deemed themselves Jews, right? Now, Israel is way over here. And we saw that the during the expulsion of 70 AD, right? The Jews, they didn't go towards Portugal and Spain and France. They went over to Iran, Iraq, right? Saudi Arabia, things of this nature, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, and down into Egypt, Sudan, Libya, you know what I'm saying, and all these other places, Kush, you know what I'm saying? And these are the regions of Kush. They never ever went up this way, right? They never went up this way because these are different types of people, right? So why in the world, right? Now we're used to traveling through Egypt, Libya, Algeria, you know what I'm saying, the things of that nature on the old maps, right? These are the areas that the Israelites were used to traveling through, right? Now, why in the world, right? If we're in Israel, will we not, you know what I'm saying, will we all of a sudden now come from Portugal and Spain and not travel the lands that we know, right? And go up from France, go to Italy, Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, all this other, now into Russia, where they said they were, Germ, you know what I'm saying, all these places over here, right? We're going to go all the way over here. And then all of a sudden now, finally, we're going to get to Israel. Is that what they're saying that they did? Why are you going to avoid all the dark countries, right? All the people with melanin in that. Hey, they don't want to go over there, right? They don't want to deal with that stuff. That's because those are not the real people of the Bible. Those are not the real people of the Bible, right? They're not going to go over here to know, say Portugal and Spain and all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Over here where the Iberian Peninsula is. Hey, these are white folks.
Yeah. And if you want a stronger stance, I'm going to show you the original Ottoman Empire, the map. So when you read the book, The 13th Tribe by Arthur Koestler, he explains these places where they came from. It's nowhere near Africa. All right. So you can see the maps are still documented and everything. And this is where these people came from. This was what they call the Turkish Empire today.
All right.
So, you got to trace these people's histories back because, the Bible says that, Israel's seed will never be destroyed. And these people are not us. They're nowhere close to any blood ties to the ancient Israelites back then or even today.
Well, these people just be lying, man.
And these white boys ain't provide one bit of evidence. They just sitting there just running their mouths,
Right? These are, you know what I'm saying? Just look at all this area, right? These are not the people of the scriptures, right? As you see that we went into slavery, and the sub-Saharan slave trade and the what? Right? And the
transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, con, right? We got slave from the Muslim culture, Iraq, right, and all those. These are the areas that are right around Israel. These are the areas that are right around Israel. We're not traveling far off. It says that when we do travel off and far off, Deuteronomy, right, 28, it talks about that, man, we're going to be in fetters and chains, sold to a land that we've never been before, things of that nature. Not that we're going to wander off on our own and doggone, you know what I'm saying? Hey, when has the, these so-called white Jews ever had fetters of iron around their neck? That has never happened, right? You know what I'm saying, man? You can't say any of the prophecies that are in Deuteronomy 28 have happened to these so-called people. A matter of fact, you know what? I'm
gonna show something right quick. Now they talking about this is gonna be a cut right here. I'm gonna bring out a scripture right quick from Torah. All right. Let's go to can you see that? Let me take this map off right quick.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. I was just about to bring it up too. I was about to bring
it up. Take that off. Let me just share it so it'll be bigger and everything. Because I want everybody to see this. You're gonna have to see it because this right here is a cut to anybody who's over there in Jerusalem claiming to be Jews. All right. This is going to be a supreme cut because I want to show you how this is going to work. All right. Hey, take that map down from that. There you go. Can you see that?
I can see it.
All right. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20 and let's look at verse 34 because we're going to show you what's going to happen and this ain't going to be no quiet event. All right. So it says, I will bring you, we're going to break this down verse by verse, word by word. It says, I will bring you out from the people. Now, what does it mean by that? I will bring you out from the people. It says, and then he goes on to say, and I will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are what? Scattered.
So hold on. Are you sure it didn't say that they was going to bring themselves out of the country?
Nope. Let me read that again. It says, I will bring you out from the people.
Who's
we'll gather. We said we'll gather. It didn't say nothing about you all of a sudden claiming that you're going to just go to Jerusalem and then claim that as your land.
Can you read 33, please? Just to make it real clear. Can you read verse 33 first?
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's go back to verse 30. It says, "As I live, says Adonai Yahweh,
Who?
surely with a mighty hand." And it's going to say it. It's going to say it again too.
God.
It says, "With a mighty hand and with stretched out arm and with fury poured out, it says, will I rule over you." Read that again. "As I live, says Adonai Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, will I rule over you."
God. That is not going on right now.
That's not happening right now. All right, we read this part again. And it says, "And I will bring you out from the people, and I will gather you out from the countries wherein you are scattered." We already read Deuteronomy 4:27, and then Jeremiah 17, where it says we will be disinherited from our inheritance. All right. It says with a what? With a mighty hand. What does that mean? So whenever the Most High comes back with a mighty hand, there's going to be some noise, right? There's going to be some action. The whole world's going to see it. This ain't going to be something that's going to be quiet.
That's right. That's right.
It says with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. Now, you mean to tell me that these white folks that are over in Jerusalem right now are claiming to be Jews? Do you really believe that these people are the bloodline Jews of the Bible? Absolutely not. Not even close.
God.
Because the Torah already says that the Most High is going to gather his people from amongst the nations with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
God. Right?
So that means that there's going to be some killing. There's going to be some bloodshed. There's going to be some fire. There's going to be some serious action going on, because you can't put a people in the land if there's people already over there already. What do you have to do first? You have to kill those people. You have to exterminate them, or however you're going to get them out before the Most High can put us over there in our rightful land. Verse 35, "And then I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face." All right.
When does that happen?
Something else is getting ready to happen. It says,
Wait, hold on, Cop. When does that happen to those Jews? When has, when they came out of so-called Nazi Germany or whatever, when did that, when did the Most High bring them into the wilderness as a people and plead with them face to face?
And first,
when has that happened?
Yeah, and when has the Most High brought these white boys out from among the nations?
God, right?
"And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness." He's talking about our forefathers of the land of this green. "So will I plead with you," says Adonai Yahweh. Man, that's deep. These people have not experienced that yet. And this verse alone is a total cut to their even existence over in Jerusalem.
Man, that dude talking about something. He a doggone, he from the tribe of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Salakia. You saying that he's a Jew. He's from Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, right? now, just alone, right? Benjamin, right, which was Moses, right? Salakia, Levites, right? Moses was in the land of, he was in Egypt. He was mistaken for an Egyptian. Now we know that the Egyptians of antiquity are the Hamites, Africans, dark-skinned people, dark-skinned, woolly-haired people. How in the world is this white boy of that particular of a Jewish community? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? How can he be of the Jewish people? These folks just be making this stuff up, man, because they want our people to be so dumb, deaf, and blind. They don't want us to have nothing. Talking about what was that? Reparations, right? A reparation is supposed to be land, right? 400,000 acres, which we once had in Georgia, but they took it back, right? After old boy got assassinated. And so, man, these folks know who we are as a people, and they don't want us to have any power at all.
Yeah. And see that white boy that's talking right now, he won't debate brother like me. He won't debate anybody else. He won't even probably debate the camps. He won't debate Ron Dalton. He won't debate none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that they don't have a winning case. They don't have anything to stand on. But he'll just talk in front of somebody who's ignorant of the scriptures and don't know any better, and they'll talk all day in front of them.
The scriptures say in Deuteronomy 28, the curses, right, before the Most High sends his son to come save us, it says, "And it shall come to pass," Deuteronomy 20:63, right? And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoices over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked off the land, whether you go to possess it. That's why we're not getting 40 acres of the mule. The Lord ain't down with it. That's why we ain't getting that. That's why we didn't get 40 acres in the mule, and we're never going to get any land. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? I mean, like, not any free land like that we're just going to be able to just to do whatever the hell we want to with it, right? You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. And so I don't know what these folks are talking about. If anybody fits the curses, all of them, it's the so-called Negroes on the earth, right? Man, you're not talking about you going back to Israel, man. That's wicked as hell, man. Salakia. Let me go ahead and pull back the video. Wicked ass man, heathens. So annoying. Well, I mean, like, doggone, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't they got enough? And now they trying to claim to be us. Doggone, man. Just let it alone.
And again, all this wasn't happening. You didn't hear about none of this stuff until all of a sudden our people started waking up. And it's like, okay, that documentary came out, and they were starting to realize, hey, man, our history's been hidden. And now all of a sudden you got these white boys coming out the woodworks.
Con, right? Like I said, right over here, right? Spain and Portugal. They literally traveled all the way around, right? All the way around over here, just to doggone not be involved with the with the dark nations down here. That's not possible. If Israel were to get scattered, if we were running for our lives coming out of 70 AD, man, we going into lands that we know, like Egypt, down out through here, you know what I'm saying, Syria, Iran, where the Israelites at, and things of that nature, right? Those are the places that we're going. We ain't going way over here. You know what I'm saying? This is why we were locked up in the first place in Africa, you know what I'm saying, by the Hamites to get us away from our homeland over here and up over here and all the different places that we got sold into captivity. These folks are just wicked as hell, right? That's man. All right, here we go. Salakia, Israel. Let's go to the video.
Talk about the Jewish story and experience of the Igbo people, which, by the way, 20% of the transatlantic slave trade comes specifically from the Igbos. So a lot of people,
a lot of people are Nigerian. They do the ancestry test. I'm Nigerian, man. And my friends call me. I'm like 43%, bro.
Yeah,
we all look alike. What the fuck you think? Why are you surprised? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's mad. I support you like a motherfucker, dude. I love it. I couldn't. I'm like, yo, because it needs to be talked about. A guy like yourself. And how many people are actually backing you that are young like you that are like, yo, hell yeah, let's connect with our people? Is there a big?
There's a movement.
I mean,
is there a movement?
The younger generation is different than the older generation.
Of course.
Right? The younger generation is more open-minded and they're looking for something. Everyone is hungry for something, but there's nothing really being offered. And so even within the Black community within America, people are looking for identity. Right? I used a few times the term African-American. I mean, I've been in many conversations. Africa is a continent. It's not a country. Right. And American is an experience that they really weren't a part of this entire time. And Black is a skin color, which is an experience today, unfortunately, because there's such a thing called racism, which is an invention of human beings, but not an actual thing. We're not different because of our skin color. So what are they? What's their language? What's their history? What's their culture? What's their traditions? What's their purpose in this world? Right? A lot of people lost their identity and are looking for it. And there is truth that a lot of people of color descend from Israelite tribes from Africa, the ones that we're going to visit.
But the scriptures say that, right, that the Israelites were going to lose their identity, right? These folks told me they knew who they were and they had deemed themselves as Jews, right? You know, our people, we just waking up, right? We have bits and pieces from slaves and things of that nature that kept the doctrine of who we are as a people, right? Down by the river Jordan, slave songs that we sang because we were by the river Jordan. That was our people, right? This is not nothing, in our own language until we got our own language whooped out of us and all this other stuff, right? Now we got beaten and selling all these damn holidays, right? Instead of holy days. Wicked ass heathen.
Populations that they were targeting historically till this day, the Igbos, right? Why always? And the Igbos are the richest and most educated demographic in all of it. Hold up. And the Igbos in society are always blamed for what? Running the media, running the economy. We're starting to see a trope and a similarity and a pattern.
Whoa. So what he's saying is Godfrey runs this podcast.
Let me tell you, if I ran the media, I'd be on my 10th sitcom right now. Okay. I'd be on every TV show right now.
You change the name from Seinfeld to Godfrey.
Yeah, but this is I like this kind of thing because it's hard to break and to talk about this because usually you see those
shouldn't be.
Those Hebrew Israelite the brothers in America with the they got the cape and people will see that and go, "Oh, they're extremists." Do they know what they're talking? You ever connect with those guys
all the time?
And are they making sense, or are they
They're
not?
different groups. They're not one monolith, and a lot of them fight between each other.
Let's get it. I want to hear that one more time, Salakia. I want to hear his answer because this is hey, right. Hey, Godfrey's a troll on this, right? You know, because he doesn't say whether or not he agrees with them. He's asking, hey, he's trolling because obviously that's how he, what I'm saying, he knows, you know what I'm saying about this, he's trolling these heathen.
Those guys
all the time.
And are they making sense, or are they not?
They're different groups. They're not one monolith, and a lot of them fight between each other. I mean, that's also typical of the Jews.
Yeah.
Right. So you have people who still believe in Jesus. You have people who've rejected Jesus amongst the Black Israelite tribes.
Yeah.
You have those who believe that the Jews are also Jews. Those of us that are Sephardic, Ashkenazi, Mizrahi, others. And there's the replacement theology that no, we're the real Jews. They're the fake Jews. Right. And the reason this comes from is because there's a phenomenon happening where a lot of people of color, not just in America, in the Caribbean, in South America, wherever the slave trade went to, they're waking up to their identity. This is a real thing. It's a phenomenon. We have to address it. But when they're coming to other Jews and saying, my brother, I finally found out who I am. Come, let's unite together. Then most Jews who've never heard this idea, and because a lot of them were raised in Europe, so have a lot of European.
That's because they're not real Jews.
Exactly.
Right? It said the spirit bear witness. You see what I'm saying? It's like all the so-called black people, right? The so-called Negroes, those are the real people that are waking up. You don't hear about none of these Assyrians or pull up that chart real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got that we got that chart somewhere, don't we?
Which chart?
The 12 tribes, 12 tribes of idiocy. What's that? What's that? Damn heathen chart. Well, soon Brother Daniel comes it up, right? I want you to see, right? The people that they have on this chart, right? They ain't waking up, right? You don't have Mexicans waking up and stuff like that, and without nobody telling them to come back to the commandments. The most spiritual people on the earth, right? Even though we're involved in a lot of wickedness, the so-called Negroes, right? So we're always the people that have stayed spiritual no matter what, right? Some kind of link to the Most High, even though we draw close to Him with our mouths, we don't do right indeed. We're the same people, right? We the people of the earth. We the people that do that, right? No, ain't no other people on the earth. Right, but while Brother Daniel's pulling that up, I'm gonna continue.
In mentality, then start saying, "There's no way you're Jewish, you're black, or you're African. We've never heard of such a thing. Right. So go away." Now, to a person that's really hurt and has been hurt for hundreds of years and has generational trauma in their DNA passed down to them, they're like, if they were really Hebrews, they would accept me. It must be that they're not the real Jews. And so that's where the problem is. And that's if you look at Kyrie's documentary, there's a lot of truths in there, right? But it falls on deaf ears because there's a lot of false things in there as well. Okay. Which is why we need to open up this conversation and really be very specific as to what are their origins. If you look at a lot of the names during the slave trade, a lot of them had Jewish names when they were brought to this country, and then their names were erased and changed into something else.
Of course. And that's the thing too, is a lot.
You see that? Even these heathens know, right? But see, they can't say that about themselves. You know what I mean? You can't date back or anything like that of these heathens to say that they are true, sons of, sons of the Most High. They don't have no Yah, no any Hebrew last name or any of that stuff. Rothschilds and all this other craziness, man. This is made up heathen, shenanigans. This is not the real children of God, and then like that's the problem, right? It's going to come out once you start it. I mean, like just like we easily had broke it down and saw where these folks that came from, right? Hey, these folks, right, as we've seen from before, they come from the Iberian Peninsula, and they started right here, and they traveled all the way up through France. These are white folks. They're nowhere near the blood of Jacob, nowhere near Israel, nowhere near what we got, taken out of it. The scriptures doesn't speak at all about no Jews being spread over here like that. Right, unless you're going on slave trade or anything like that. The other 10 tribes, right, there are in 1111, like Brother Daniel had brought out, which are parts of Africa, right? Salakia, which are the parts of Africa down up in here, all through up in here. These are the spaces that the scriptures, that the texts speak about. Nothing about what these damn heathen are just making up. No damn, man, you coming from the way coastal white people land, and you trying to talking about some you a damn a Jew, when the king of the Jew, he has brown skin and woolly hair. Man, get the hell up out of here with them damn lies. So sick of that crap. All right, let's get back to the video, Israel.
Hey, pull up. I got the chart.
Oh yeah, Khan, right? When you heard of Cubans waking up, right? Guatemalans, Panama. When have you heard of these people waking up? The Colombians, the Mexicans, right? Uruguay, right? When have you heard of these people waking up? You know what I'm saying? These folks aren't waking up, right? Only
Yeah,
folks
you don't
that
hear
you
no
see on the
Mexicans.
corner are
We waking up, or Native Americans, we waking up, and then these all of a sudden these Khazars over there, these white boys talking about, oh yeah, now they do admit that the Israelites or the true Negroes are waking up and everything, but they're trying to include themselves there. You know what I'm saying? And everything that they're saying is totally against the scriptures and how they even got over there in the first place.
God,
You're totally out the picture.
This stuff is just wickedness, man. I'm just,
Go ahead,
and just a shame because brother Godfrey, the brother Godfrey, he's just ignorant of the scriptures, right? Don't coon out. You know what I'm saying? Well, address the elephant in the room. If you're talking about that we brothers, how in the hell that you damn sure look white? Your hair perfect, your whole genetic structure is different than mine, right? Your whole genetic structure is different. How the hell are you me? Right? How the hell are you me? It doesn't make any sense. It's lies.
A lot of people don't want to sit down and see, like you are ready for the smoke. You're like, because you're so well informed. You go to you call that talking. You go to places. You hear stories. That's why I like people like you, because you're ready for the smoke. Like, let's talk. Let's go.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you don't get that. You get a lot of, no, I don't want to hear it. Or they'll overtalk you, won't let you talk. You know what I mean? A lot of deflection and tiptoeing, footing around.
A lot of people don't know their own history. They just kind of grow up and it's just kind of laziness. And
if life is easy for them, they don't want to.
Stop right there. I was looking at these white boys' channel, whatever he calls it, the Rudy Rochman. Do you know that he never sat down with one so-called learned Israelite and debated with him?
I'm not surprised, man. I mean,
these dudes are never going to go for the truth. Channel. He ain't sat down with no Ron Dalton. He ain't sat down with no other Israelite brothers who are learning the scriptures.
You know what I'm saying? That's why that's why he'll do an interview with this guy. This guy's not, the brother, he's back, he's a backslidden heifer. He's not keeping no commandments, right? He knows about who he is as a person, but as far as him keeping the commandments, he's not doing that. So that's why these heathen feel comfortable enough to go on his program, because they know that he's unlearned and he doesn't possess any knowledge, right? He doesn't possess any light. So they are taking advantage of this brother right now. I mean, he's trying the best as he can with his limited knowledge. And if you're honest, I think he's just cooning just a tad, a little bit. Seems like, he's placating them because they're on the show. But, man, I would have been all day broached the elephant in the room. Hey, man, if we the same folks, man, your ass don't look like me. Israel's on the tip of Africa. How the hell, where did that look come from? All we know that all those folks that have that European look, they're immigrants. They don't come from the homeland.
Read. They don't want to go, yo, you should read about this shit, man. You need to know about this shit. Know it. I'm telling you, it's important. A lot of people want pictures and, little excerpts. Nobody wants to sit down and see clips. Because education, let's keep it 100. I love it. I love learning, but learning doesn't come with a beat. Learning doesn't come with a. But learning, you got to sit there and be patient.
Once your eyes are open, you then have a responsibility. And a lot of people don't want to face that responsibility.
They don't
so they
want
to keep their eyes closed.
Keep the eyes closed. I know what you're saying about some of the sensitivities, but I don't think Dave's intention was to down it. He was just trying to make, because it was so tense, he was just trying to make light of it. He walked that line. You know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from. It's not like I don't get where you're coming from, because you're sacrificing yourself and getting all this deep study.
Well, for us, it's real.
It's real, and I get that. But Dave is not as in depth as you as far as what you're doing. So I get it from your perspective as a documentary filmmaker, historian who's doing the real, not History Channel. You're doing the grassroots.
Well, ideally,
and so I totally get where you come from. So we're all Jews.
Yeah,
different complexions.
I'm from Levi. You're from God. And you're probably from Judah.
He said he's from Levi.
This is dope, though. It's like God.
Hey, hold on, man. Did he say he's from Levi? We've already established that Moses looks like a so-called African, right? He was dark-skinned with woolly hair. We've already established this, right? Because he's fitting in with the Egyptians of antiquity, right? Which looks like this brother right here. So we know for a fact that this damn heathen is lying. Ain't nowhere in the world he could be a damn Levite. He's trying to say he's a Levite, not, and only that, he's trying to go for the priestly position. Boy, I'll tell you, these heathen are wicked as hell. Go hear that one time. Go ahead. Wicked ass heathen.
You're doing the grassroots.
Well, ideally,
And so I totally get where you come from. So we're all Jews.
Yeah.
Different complexions.
I'm from Levi. You're from Gad, and you're probably from Judah.
I'm God the free.
Whoa.
I know, man. He's so, he's a Judah.
Hawk, stop it. Yo, man. Hey, man, look at that heathen face right there, man. He's like, oh, hell no. Hey, they try to say he comes from the same tribe as Yahweh. Hey, man, the son of God. Are you serious right now, man? That heathen knows it well. He's like, hold on, man. Don't put that junk on me. I don't come from those. Oh, my God. That is ridiculous. They trying to, man. I'm flabbergasted, man. I'm just like, have these people never read the scriptures? There's no way they could have read the scriptures to say that damn lie. That's ridiculous. I gotta hear that one more time. I'm sorry. That's just holy crap.
Yeah.
Different complexions.
I'm from Levi. You're from Gad, and you're probably from Judah.
I'm God the free.
Come on.
There you go.
This is dope, though. It's like God, GAD.
GAD.
It's like Gade Malé. You know, Gade Malé.
France.
God is my friend.
Nice.
He's a Moroccan Jewish man. Gade Malé, because when I first met him, he goes, God foi. I am God, you are God. Almost the same. Le même chose.
No,
That's beautiful. This was.
do you think other people would at your level of comedy would want it? Because I feel like no one knows that this guy exists, Rudy. Like they don't know, but he just had Jada came to his speaking commitment. Like
Jada Pinkett came, right? And she's down. This is good. I hope
it's
that
great that she could get behind.
Well,
people are once they talk to him,
because you know why he's speaking to us. And he's making us go, no, you guys are Jews too. I mean, the way it was done, people are like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Because Kyrie said, how can I be anti-Semitic when I'm a Semite also?
Well,
was he wrong about that?
Look, you have some Jews that have internalized anti-Semitism. So just because you are a Jew or you aren't a Jew, you can still be anti the collective of the Jewish people. But if he really is a descendant of the Semitic people and specifically the Jewish people, that makes him a Jew. Right. But he could still be against the Jewish people. That doesn't mean because you're a Jew that you can't be against the collective. You could be a black person and have internalized racism and be against black people. So this whole statement of I can't be an anti-Semite because I'm a Semite doesn't really work, because anti-Semitism is prejudice and hatred against the Jewish people. And you can still have that even if you're a Jew.
What is Semitic? I thought it meant sub-Saharan African.
But it's
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
So
what is Semite? What is Semite?
Hey, yo.
That's
That's what I thought, man.
Language that
Lock
is
it,
usually
right. I was looking that up. Leah, right? Leah, she had the sons of Leah was Reuben, Jordan. Hold on, Salakia, right? Didn't Leah have Gad too?
Look it up right quick. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know she was also the sons. She had Issachar and Judah.
Yeah, Issachar, Judah are brothers, definitely.
God, you know what I'm saying? Let me make sure. Let me make sure.
Yeah, Issachar, definitely Judah. And I believe that.
Oh, the sons of Zelpha. Okay. But still, right? Okay, the sons of Zelpha, even if though, right? Like I'm saying, right? All of the tribes, okay, the sons of Zelpha, Leah's handmaid. Okay, that was Leah's handmaid. This was Gad, right? And Asher and all the sons of Jacob, right? And all the sons of Jacob. That does not equate. If all of them are sisters at the same time, right? I don't understand. There's no way in hell that any of the nations of Israel could ever come out this complexion. Remember, man, these folks are in Africa.
Man, they're not even, like I said, they're not even close. The only reason why they convincing Godfrey is because Godfrey is not learned when it comes to history, historical Israelites and the scriptures.
God.
So yeah, they're gonna tell him anything, he's gonna believe it. Yes, I hope he has enough sense not to believe that though.
God.
So he's talking about he's probably Levite, and he pointed to the other white boy. He says he's probably Judah.
God, yeah, ain't no lie. I mean, how in the world? Look at this dude. Yeah, he's Judah. I'm Levi. Man, come on, man.
He's Europeans. No bloodline ties to the Israelites
at all. We know that Hamashiach has a tie of bronze skin. That was the king of the Jews. You know what I'm saying? He's the king of the Jews. The Levite, that's Moses, and he's definitely black because they drew him out of the doggone Nile River, right?
But I guess they're gonna have to find out the hard way, though.
Yeah.
Region of the Middle East, but it's really a biblical term. right? Noah has several children, and one of those children is Shem. And the descendants of Shem are Semites. Arabs, Jews are Semites because we come from that line. Anti-Semitism was created to talk about the prejudice and hatred against the Jewish people,
Right.
even though Semites
Made
are
by
much
German
bigger than just the Jews.
So I got some African historians saying that there's no such thing as Middle East because Israel's still connected to the African landmass. So there's really no such thing as Middle East because where's the Middle South? Where's the Middle North? Still Africa.
That's facts.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what some brothers say. It's
But that-
real deep elders.
It's true. You can see it that way, but at the same time, then when's the cutoff line?
No, there's that's the only way to see it, right? That's the only way. There's no such thing as the Middle East, especially when it goes on forever. There's no such thing as the middle of the East.
Okay, so Israel, and then what? Jordan, Syria, and then what? Turkey? Like, where do you cut it off at that point? So, regardless of Africa, Asia, and Europe, the point is that there are civilizations, there are populations that have their own unique culture. For example, Hispanics, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone is one nation, but they all have some commonality,
Yeah.
right? That's more of an ethnicity. So, Jews, Arabs, all these people that live in the Middle East have a similar ethnicity, have a similar background,
Right.
have a similar origin, have a Semitic language. Arabic and Hebrew is very similar because it descends from Aramaic, the
Aramaic,
original
the
language
original
that
language,
eventually
yeah.
developed into these two sister languages.
Salam alaikum, shalom aleichem.
Mm.
Easy,
Shalom
easy,
aleichem.
easy.
Hamza.
Hamza, that's beautiful. I like all that. See, my thing is this.
Yeah.
My thing is this.
Stop right there. Stop right
None
there.
of that.
So what he's speaking is that's that gibberish Hebrew. That's that Turkish mixed in with different stuff, and that's not the Paleo Hebrew. That's not the ancient language of our forefathers. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Khan. Now I just wanted to look at the map of Israel real quick and see what other lands, because there is no way in hell that these people could ever be even coming from there, because Iraq and this is the Ishmaelites. The Lord said that they was going to give them boys land, right? So of course they were going to come. These folks are going to have land that are around, and this is where the cutoff line is. The cutoff line, right, would be around the this area right around here, right? Around Syria and Iraq and Iran, around that area right there. That would be the cutoff line, right? Because the Most High had gifted those people that land already, right? Through the covenant, right? For for the Ishmaelite people, for Ishmael and his people, right? The Most High already said that He's going to give them land. So that would be the cutoff, right? So the rest of this stuff, the rest of this stuff is all of this is Africa. The Most High already had a cutoff for them, for those folks and where that was going to be at over there, right? This was Israel, and then the Most High always had a problem with us, going back into going back into the continent over here, even though we're at the tip of it. All right, let's continue on to the last little bit of this video.
All right, actually, thanks for
All
telling
this
everything.
shit
I
is
don't give a fuck, man. Yeah.
All I want to know real quick is when am I going to get mine? No, this is dope. You got to come back, man.
Let's do it.
You got to come back, dude.
You got to
We
go
gotta
back.
keep in touch.
You guys got to go
come back.
together.
But
to
Look how
Stop.
uncomfortable, man. Look how uncomfortable that heathen looks, man. He's like, man, these niggas are gonna end up finding out these
Take the
real
map off.
Jews.
I don't think they can see it. Take the map off.
What happened?
Take the map off. I don't think they can see the.
Oh,
video.
Slucky. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Okay. Slucky, Israel. Yeah, man. I want y'all to see, man, because that's why just look the way this heathen looks, man. He's like, man, I hate these niggas, man. They starting to figure out who they are.
Stop. Why are you?
What is this? Why are you be quiet?
Let's just say-
I'm verklempt.
Thanks for
Oh,
telling
this
everything.
shit
You see that laugh? That's that uncomfortable laugh. Slucky.
It's this. I don't give none of that.
All right, actually,
That's that uncomfortable. That's not no real laugh right there.
thanks for
All
telling
this
everything.
shit
I
is
don't give a fuck, man. Yeah.
All I want to know real quick is when am I going to get mine?
You see
No,
how
this
he
is-
looking?
this is
That's
dope.
uncomfortable.
You got to come back, man.
Let's do it.
You got to come back, dude.
You got to
We
go
gotta
back.
keep in touch.
You guys got to go
come back.
together.
But
to
you stop.
stop. Why are you?
What is this? Why are you be quiet?
Let's just say-
I'm verklempt.
If we wanted to go to Nigeria, we wouldn't be talking about it before. We'd be talking about it after.
I heard that.
Heard that?
But
You're
yo,
doing no comedy shows out there. They kidnap you.
this was really God. Thank you for coming. I'm glad that I said, nah, bring him in. I don't want him to leave.
He's a hustler.
Yeah, he is a hustler. He's like, I said, you got to come through, and this is awesome. This is really
You
awesome.
got
So
some Nigeria in this episode. You got pudding. You got
you know what?
racism. It's a lot. You got
All right, that's about it. I don't really give a damn about the rest of that, right? But I do want to read.
Take the white boys off, man. The white boys, man.
I wanted to read some of these comments, right? Except for it says, oh, let me see if I can make this larger. Salakia. All right. It says, the The sympathy expected is astonishing when the same is never given. No, so I'm sick and tired of keeping hearing people take our leaders' word. Okay, after so much in the media, this is what I was looking for. And an honest conversation is what's necessary between all of us. How is that an honest conversation? We got 95 likes on that. You know, so that's just freaking ridiculous because they didn't know what they were talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? They had no idea what they were talking about. Been waiting on this conversation to happen. Thank all of you brothers. What in the world? 20 likes, right? You know what I'm saying? Even though that's not many. Same thing happened to black people. Nobody bats an eye. No one's getting canceled with no formal public apology. That's where we're living. That's because we're the real Jews, brother. That's why. You know what I mean? Incredible conversation. Look at this heathen. Everyone share. Rudy, my deepest respect, man. Very interested in joining your mission to unite people and educate both myself and others. You know what I'm saying, man? This stuff is just wicked as hell, right? These folks, right? They want to believe, right, that they are part of the bloodline, right? You know,
and we just showed you. And look, y'all, we just showed y'all the receipts. They didn't provide one bit of evidence. All they did was just sit up there and talk to a man who was unlearned in the scriptures and history of our people. All right, and it's easy. It's easy to do something like that, you know, when you don't know no better. You know, but I guarantee you, like I said, these people won't come against us. They won't debate anybody who's learned in the scriptures or historically of their own people. Because they, for one, they don't even fit the curses. They have no ties to bloodline ties to the ancient Israelites of the Bible, even back then or even in the day. They have no relationship whatsoever. The only relationship they have towards being a Jew is by their own word. That's it.
That's it.
By their own words. That's it. They put themselves in that position.
All right. Like I said before, right here, you got Negro Land, Sahara Desert right up there. Right behind, you know, same thing right here. Sahara Desert right here, Negro Land. Y'all is a pre-exile Israelites. That's us, Hebrew, the Israelites, right? That's our people. That's the real bloodline of Jacob, right?
Hey, let me show you something right quick. Go to Jeremiah 16:19. Let's see if it's on the screen here.
Jeremiah 16:19.
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right, Con, all praises.
All right, I'm not gonna blow it up. I'm just gonna read it there. So make that write this down. Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 19. And it says, "O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge, in the day of affliction, the other nations shall come unto you from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." You know, and the Torah already tells us that we are going to be revealed before all the nations. You know, we're going to be, you know, we are the chosen. We are the ones, just like it says in Deuteronomy 7:6, that we are above all the nations, every nation. But we're hidden, and that's why people don't take us serious, because we've been scattered across the four corners of the earth. And see, a lot of people, because these people who are over there in Jerusalem have put themselves in that position, and now they got the whole world believing. But see, now they're in question, and that's why they're in trouble, because that's why they're scared. They're nervous, because now people are waking up, and you know, even other nations are starting to question them. You know, the heathen nations are starting to question them. Okay, if the real Israelites are Negroes and they're still scattered, then who the hell are these people over there in Jerusalem right now? That's being in question right now as we speak, y'all. So, you know,
the Most High didn't reach out his hand and he ain't brought them people, and he ain't brought, you know, we haven't seen none of that. You know, nobody on the earth has seen the Most High reach his hand out and bring Israel back to the wilderness and then back to Jerusalem. Nobody has seen that. So who the hell are these people?
And some white people getting on a plane and coming to Jerusalem ain't returning back to your homeland. Yeah. They showed a video when it was like a couple of years ago of these other people. They were white folks, you know, they were coming back claiming to be lost tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these churches that are sending billions of dollars every year over there to Jerusalem.
It's wickedness, man. It's wickedness all the way around. All right, Israel. Well, brother, I don't really got too much more. I just wanted to show y'all that, Israel, to make sure y'all have a little breakdown of somewhere to go to where y'all could see what these damn heathen go through. Y'all can do your own research as well. There's a lot more stuff than what being Brother Daniel showed y'all tonight. I mean, like, if we want to, man, we could have been here all night just, you know, showing you tons of maps, tons of, artifacts, tons of old paintings, right? Tons of, routes and things of that nature of, where our people have been and where our people have gone, right?
You know, our evidence is documented in scrolls, and then that make sure you wrote that slave trade voyage down so you can go and research your forefathers. But see, our record can be historically proven, historically and biblically. Theirs can't. So if they're claiming to be Jews now, they don't have anything to stand on. They don't, because they are living under a stolen identity. They are living under a stolen identity. So when I read that verse to you, Jeremiah 16:19, says that they will come to the ends of the earth and they will say that we had inherited lies. Because that's the only reason why people believe that they're Jews over there, because they have inherited lies.
Right? And you know what? It's sad because you really can't. Well, their parents have told them that. Saying they've grown up with the same lie over and over again. So it's not like saying these people, they just told that. Saying so they believe that, hey, I'm a Jew. Just like black people grow up here believing that they black or believing that they African Americans.
Yeah.
Somebody told you that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee you. If you notice that white boy that was talking the most, and the other white boy, he was quiet. Because he knows he knows deep down inside, like, oh shit, these blacks, these niggas are waking up, And you notice that he didn't do as much talking, but the other dude, like a wolf man from the caves, he was doing talking, not providing no evidence and everything.
Right.
But they know deep down inside, they know they're scrambling right now as hard as they can. Man, I'm telling you, these people, Israel, if they had it their way, they would blow up the whole earth before they allow us to rule over it.
You can even see, man, we weren't even a hairy people like that. Jacob wasn't even a hairy person like that, right?
Yeah.
So that that's not our people, man. All you, man, if just don't give them a razor, right? Don't get them a razor, right? And then say we'll see how they look in a month or two, right? I guarantee you, Cro-Magnon man will be back on the earth.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, I looked at the dude's channel, and there's not one video on there where he sits down with a learned Israelite and face them. He won't do it. I know he won't.
And so it just aggravates.
And after I showed you those two books, I'm gonna show them to you again, y'all, so you can make sure you get these two books, because they're gonna show you all the receipts that you need to show that how those people got over to Israel. This one specifically right here. This one right here is a blockbuster. It'll take you a while to read it though, but this man was killed. Now he was one of them because he did not want to continue to live the lies. His conscience was bothering him. So he had to write this book and be like, look, y'all. As much as we hate to admit it, we are not who we say we are. And this is what's in this book in Arthur Kessler, 13 Tribe. And then again, the invention of the Jewish people. Gives you maps, tells you where they came from. Nowhere in Africa did they come. They came nowhere near Africa. All right, so make sure you get those two books. But man, it's been a blessing, Israel. We just like brother said, we wanted to show you not only from the scriptures, but show you historically and show you receipts that we are the true people of the mighty Yahweh, scattered to the four corners, the Negroes. No other doggone different races of people outside of Israel. The Negroes scattered to the four corners of the earth.
Yeah, the feats of our people even say the same. That's why we're the strongest on the earth, the fastest, all of that stuff. This is dated back from the time when Israel was founded, right? Our people have always been strong, the strongest of all of them, period.
Mm-hmm.
especially when we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We have the power of Yahweh behind us. And we are absolutely stronger than anything that you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's see if that Rudy Rochman can debunk what we brought out tonight.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with him. I would never debate a heathen, right? I want y'all to understand that. Like Brother Daniel and myself, we don't cast pearls to swine or any of that other stuff, right? The only thing we do is bring this stuff out for our people, for their education. Like I wouldn't waste my time on arguing with something the Most High calls spittle, right? I'm not, why? For what? So I don't have anything to prove to him. I don't care about him. I don't have anything to prove to him. What I'm worrying about, right, is just the same as Brother Daniel. We're worried about our people.
That's right.
That's what we're worried about, our people. As long as we worry about our people, right, then we'll be straight. Right. If you got these other niggas out here, they want to debate the heathens and do it. See, that's what they're looking for. Right. They want you to, separate from your people and get sidetracked with worrying about them. That's what we got to stay away from, right? We got to stay away from that and just straight educate our people, right? Stay together as a people. We don't need to tell them the secrets and all the covenants and the gifts and all of that stuff that we have that's coming to us. That's going to make them hate us more. So why would you even tell them that? You know what I'm saying? We're already in a bad position. Don't try to make it worse, right? Shut the hell up, keep the commandments, right? And worry about your own people. And then, we'll rise up and get the hell up out of here.
That's right. And Israel, share, like and share this video. And again, write this stuff down. Write all these historical stuff. Start collecting these maps. Get you a scrapbook. Get you binder from a dollar store or something like that, and start keeping this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Keep it on digits, whatever, and start collecting this stuff so that when you do come across something, your people, you can teach them how to look up their history. It's like I showed you how to do that slave warrior database. Man, you put their names in there, you'll see all kinds of stuff. You'd be surprised. You might be connected to one of your ancestors that was your family members. It was on that ship.
God.
It's coming out, and nothing can stop it. The Most High is going to reveal us before the whole world. But with that being said, Israel, I don't have anything else. I'm gonna let you all get back to enjoying the Shabbat, and just want to say that thank you all for coming on. Again, share and like these videos so that the word can get out. And brother, unless you got anything, I'm gonna bid them a Shabbat Shalom.
Khan, take us out of here, man. Take us out of here.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, and stay strong, Israel.